I will
Like,
say
it's just not worth your time. There's too much good shit in the world. Go like instead of watching this show, call your mom. You know, like you know, go drink some water. Go walk outside. It's
go
really
touch some
not
grass.
It's not.
Hello and welcome everybody back to episode 2 of the Weeaboomers podcast. It is me, your boy, Master Steph, as always, and I am joined here by you know him, you love him, the inhateable, I don't know if that's a word, but we have Dylan.
Hello, it's Doki Doki Degen here for another exciting, wonderful, beautiful time.
It is an exciting, wonderful, beautiful time. And then today we actually have a special guest. We told you we'd bring guests on, so we have a guest on. Trading far from the path of heaven. We have young Richard Curtis Smith. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Rich.
Yo, my whole legal, it's Richard. I'm the host of Treading the Path of Heaven podcast. Your home for all translated literature, whether it's Japanese, Chinese, Korean. We've even done Canadian. If you can read it, we've reviewed it. If it's become an anime, we've read the source material. And I'm just here to help out. Here to talk about some anime with these boomers. I'm not a boomer yet, hopefully.
I mean, you're on this show. You qualify as a boomer. You know, you especially with your like diverse taste in anime. You probably more boomer than me and him combined, honestly.
Just because I'm well read doesn't mean I'm a boomer. All right.
You got a 3 in front yet?
There's a difference.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you might be a boomer. A little bit. Just a little bit.
Nah.
You got a 3 in the front?
Oh, damn, yo. You hit him with, you got a 3 in the front? See, I don't have a 3 in the front.
Nah, man. We don't claim nothing, bruh. We don't claim anything. Do I have kids? The answer is no. No kids, not a boomer. Can't say nothing. There's no babies to boom. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
I mean, if the qualifications having a 3 in the front, then I'm not a boomer because I don't have that yet. So we're well on our way.
Well,
not yet.
There's other things, but I mean, like if you got a 3 in the front, you're automatically, like there's no getting around and no arguing it.
By default, when it comes to anime and esports, if you got a 3 in the front, you're an old man. That's how.
So my classification is if you were born and your year ends with has 8 somewhere in it. If you're an 89, 88, 87, you a boomer. Anything, if you're in the 90s forward, you Gucci. We Gucci. All right? You were born within 10 years of the new millennium, you're not a boomer to me.
That's crazy. All right, well, anyway, so that'll be guys out of the way. So welcome back to another episode, everybody. As always, we're here to talk about some anime nonsense. So last episode, if y'all joined us, we talked a little bit about our favorite summer anime that we were excited for. We talked a little bit about, the live action One Piece stuff. That's all old news now. That episode actually...
I'm so scared.
Huh?
I'm so scared of that.
Are you scared of the One Piece live action?
I'm so scared.
We need to get your opinion. How do you think it looks? We'll talk about that real quick before we move on.
I mean, they did some scenes that are 1-to-1 with the manga, but it's like hella cringe, so I'm scared, bro. That's all.
I mean, but it's like live action anime's got to be a little cringe. Like it's kind of unavoidable, right? It's like that got that camp to it that you can't really avoid.
I need it to be done on the same level as they did. What was it? Battle Angel Alita to me is the best version of a live action anime. They did it true to source, and they took it seriously, but it still had the anime-isms, which made it like not cringe. I don't want my anime to be cringe. There's a thin line between camp and cringe, and they took this the camp line.
They riled the line,
and they went all the way over here. I wish I could stand up. They out of pocket with some of that cringe.
Yeah, they over there tightrope walking on the line.
Oh yeah, it's a tightrope, and they failed almost every single time.
I haven't seen Alita, so I don't know much about.
Go see it. Somebody go see it. After this, go watch it.
Change your plans. Cancel your plans for the night.
Best. Y'all should be an episode. What's the best live action anime adaptation? And the answer is Alita every single time. It's insane.
We should have had him on there. Oh, whoops, that was my timer going off. But we should have had him on the last episode. He had a lot to say about that. Apparently, that was a mistake, not having him on there. I guess.
We went in the kind of like deep details on like how we felt about previous ones, which ones we like that stood out to us previous.
Yeah, one of my answers was I really enjoyed the Speed Racer live action. I thought that was
It's good.
Yeah, it is good, right?
It was bad when it came out, but age made it better.
like a fine wine.
Like a fine well, it came out as booze form, and then after like 10 years, it became like actual wine. Crazy.
We just didn't know what we had when we had it, and then as time goes by and you see what you get, you appreciate what we had once upon a time.
Yeah, dude. They saw that Death Note, was like, yo, man, Speed Racer's pretty good.
Oh wait, don't. Let's not talk about Death Note. That's a whole episode on its own. That is literally a whole episode. It's just a Death Note live action on its own. I could talk about it for days. But anyway, so speaking about talking about stuff, so first on the docket, gentlemen, I say that if I'm pouring water, I feel like I should be pouring like some whiskey or something, being like, all right, gentlemen, on schedule for tonight's, tonight's manner. I don't have any whiskey on hand though. I do have some delicious coffee liqueur though, Mr. Black. That's some good stuff. But I'm just drinking water right now. But anyway, on the docket for tonight. So we all watched an anime recently, right? So we talked about summer anime last episode, and one anime that me and Dylan both thought would be fun to watch was an anime called Liar Liar. We knew nothing about the show. We barely read the synopsis. We both thought it was something that it wasn't, and when we watched it, we thought it was something even different, even more so. So out of all the summer anime we could have decided to come and talk about today, besides, the new Devil is a Part-Timer, the new, Bleach, the new whatever, we decided to come to you and talk about Liar Liar today. So Richard, you look like you have quite the...
So let you guys know, my time is very valuable, okay? I've been reading some stuff. I've been working. I was, I'm taking care of properties. I'm going around. I'm making moves. Irons in the fire. And then what I thought was my friend goes, "Hey, for the show, I need you to watch some episodes of this Liar Liar. Just one. Keep in mind, he warned me one after I had started."
Hey man, it's not that bad. It's not like I asked you to watch like Master Martial Arts or some other trash. It was all right.
I would rather watch shit than watch mid, and that's what this was. It was the heaviest of mid. It was mid with no budget, right? And you can tell he's like, "Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Maybe it'll have like some edge to it, like another mid show, like Classroom of the Elite, right? You go, it's like, oh, it's Classroom of the Elite. No. Or maybe I've seen these character designs. Maybe they're gonna go for some DxD style character. Okay, no, this is definitely just a romantic comedy. Maybe they're gonna have like cool fight scenes, like Chivalry of a Failed. No, ain't. But there's games. Maybe it'll be like no game, no. Oh, nah, it's not that either. So this is definitely just like. Oh, let me check my notes. No game, no budget. That's the show. No game, no budget. With a worse girl, bad lies, generic city, Academy Island.
The Academy Island is the most generic villain hideout name. Like,
my God,
I will say it was only one episode. Maybe it gets better.
No, this is one of those you watch 5 minutes, you turn it off. Even the OP's not a pop. How you gonna have a bad OP? How you gonna have generic? And I had to go do some research, right? I had to go do some research because suddenly, my light novel reader mind clicked, and I'm like, I bet you this is an adaptation to sell a mid-ass light novel. And I go click it, and I'm like, oh, Liar Liar. Oh, it's a romantic comedy light novel that started. Oh, they're trying to boost the sales by making a mid-ass anime. It's not bad. It can play in the background. It has simulcast. I watched the dub in the sub to compare. They're both mid. Like,
He watched both. He watched it twice.
yeah,
See, I didn't tell you
When
to do
I'm
all that.
watching
You did
it-
that to yourself.
Yeah,
Right?
we
Okay,
did-
you
we
did
just
that
watched
to
it.
not
yourself.
twice. Okay, check it out. Homeboy did the speech, and I was like, hold up, let me switch over to the dub.
Oh,
Really quick.
maybe he popped
Watch
off
the
in the speech and
speech.
dub, right? Like maybe that's what it was.
Maybe the dub gonna go, no. It's the same 4 voices you hear in every dub. It's like, it's not. And I really wish, like, couldn't the character design be like original? Why it gotta be generic character design? I like Zentai Ryoki more than the next guy. And the same side ponytail, redhead Sundere. Come on, bro. It looked like one of those cheap ass Saturday morning Fox Kids.
Oh my god, not the
card
Fox
game
Kids.
show. The Fox Kids card game show.
Hey, bro,
There's no
don't
card
disrespect-
games, so we can't even go hard. We can't even. There's no quotables.
Hey,
I can't
hey,
hit
hey,
him with
hey.
the my.
You say that. I've got a lot of quotables from many a card game show, all right? My man Kaiba is a walking book of quotes.
Yeah.
Fact.
No. I
Third
love
rate
that.
duelist
That's why
with a
Yu-Gi-Oh!
4th grade
slaps.
deck.
Yu-Gi-Oh! is sick because it has mad quotables. It's cheap. It's made cheap. If you're gonna be cheap, be quotable as hell. Yo, the whole my grandpa has no bad cards. This shit slaps. You know,
got Exodia, the Forbidden one. Yeah, okay, so guys, so Liar, yeah, for those who don't know, who haven't watched it yet, it is a show about a guy that goes to an academy where everybody has to play games to like increase their rank, right? In the first episode, the guy is like the lowest possible rank. He meets some random girl. Shenanigans happen. She gets mad at him. They play a game together. He accidentally bodies her, and he finds out, oh, she was actually the highest ranked person in the school. And so now you either have to pretend you're also high ranked so you don't get the wrath of her Yakuza boss grandpa like raining down on you, or you could leave the school. And he's like, I guess we gonna lie. And that's basically the show. The way I described it was not no game, no budget. But I described it as great value, no game, no life meets Baka and Tess. That's the way I kind of looked at it.
you gave it too much credit with that Baka and Tess reference, for sure. Too much credit.
Oh, yeah, Baka and Tess is good. That is true. Baka and Tess is actually a good show.
Me giving the no game, no life illusion is giving it too much credit because the games are trash.
We've
Like, not even,
only
like, good
seen
games.
one
We only
game.
saw one game.
We've seen enough.
Maybe the
Dude,
games
I've
are
seen
fire
better
later.
rock, paper, scissors.
What?
Y'all ever watch Kaiji? The beginning of Kaiji, they're doing rock, paper, scissors with cards. And those are more or better than this.
What if we get like the Shiratori game equivalent in this from No Game No Life? Because that game, like the materializing Shiratori game from No Game No Life, was sick. What if we get an equivalent to that in this show?
That's too highbrow for this show. All of the
We don't know
characters are one note or stereotypical. Brother, we've seen the trope. You got the older, dark-haired lady that's the principal or dean or whatever the hell her name
Yeah,
is.
well, I don't even know what she is actually.
Dude,
Yeah, I don't even think they went into that yet.
it doesn't matter what her name is. You know what's gonna happen. We know who the couple is. We know how they're gonna set it up. It's all based on romance. This is gonna be a 13 episode only anime. It's gonna end here. It's not gonna get a sequel. This is just filler.
Wait.
It's
So
filler.
I will say, the thing that'll depend on whether it gets a sequel or not is how much the internet likes the waifus. The waifus have to sell the show.
Yeah,
The waifus have to
waifus
sell
are
the
too
show.
we didn't even really get to see those yet.
The waifus are too generic. The main girl's too generic. We've seen
Yeah,
it a
but
thousand
again,
times.
a side character can carry though, right? And in a show where the main girl's generic, a side character can carry. We've seen it time and time again, right?
Waifus are too high tier now. Example, in Wish for Mercury, the most popular girl right now is a girl that has screen time 3 times in this show.
It's
A
just like,
grand
what,
total, like 2
A
minutes.
bind like 2 minutes out of 2 seasons of screen time.
Yeah, 2 minutes out of 2 seasons. Not even relevant to the plot. But she's so well designed and so hot, it just makes money. It just gets drawn. She is irrelevant. I watched this with my girlfriend. Brother, I don't even remember her name. How irrelevant she is. The story doesn't change for her there or not, but she's so good as a waifu, it doesn't matter. That is waifu design. This is waifu design from like 12 years ago, brother. This This is like
maybe it's trying to appeal
prime
to the
Love
boomers.
Live,
It's trying to
Love
appeal to
Live
that boomer
era
nostalgia.
design.
So, for me, it's like you can back me up on this, right, Dylan? Like you watched it. We watched it together actually, so we got the live reaction. You were very silent during the episode, and I didn't really get a lot of feedback from you after we watched it. So talk to me. How do you feel about Liar Liar? Do you think Richard is telling the truth?
The only reason I was quiet is because I was definitely tired, but I was trying to fully pay attention and pick up on everything. So I will say I can honestly tell you I don't remember anybody's name, but I think Richard is going a little too far with it. You know what I'm saying? Like when it first started, it gave like big time Danganronpa vibes. Like, all right, I just got invited to this prestigious school, and then they walk into school in the front door, and they're like, all right, that door's the courtyard, and then they open the door to the courtyard, and it's like, bam, you're in Duelist Kingdom now. Go get some star chips. They even call the thing stars. And I was like, okay. And then when the whole part with the game came up, I was waiting for some. Just to say beforehand, going into this, I thought it was a chess anime. If you look at the cover art for it, it looks like a chessboard. So that's what I thought this was. But I was like, okay, man, like the game's gonna be sick. And then I was like, what the hell is this? And then she pulled out the sword, and I was like, where'd the sword come from? I thought we were playing a game. Now you're trying to kill him. I was like, what the hell is going on? But it was just there was nothing that made it be like, oh, this is great. But it was enough wacky shit to make me be like, I'm gonna finish watching it because I mean, if this happened in the first episode, I'm curious what happens moving forward.
I will say, I also thought so. Like what I thought was because when we saw it, you said it was a chess anime, right? And I'll say, oh, so it's gonna be like Anime Queen's Gambit. That sounds kind of lit. And that's not what it was at all. But also, I thought it was because like I read the tags. I was like comedy ecchi. I was like, oh, it's gonna be generic like ecchi of the season, right? Like, but it wasn't even that. Like at least from the first episode, it wasn't even that. It was just
no. Yes, it was in the first episode. The start of it is a wet T-shirt setup. So
I mean that's true, but like it wasn't like
they were so lazy they couldn't animate her still being wet, so they had to make her wet again to show her titties again.
I mean, it was pretty egregious. It wasn't as egregious though. So like you've seen those like flavor of the season ecchi animation like so over the top. You're just like,
oh yeah. Because this is an ecchi anime not designed to sell sex. This is an ecchi anime designed to air for actual 13-year-olds, right? Because they're all right. You can't watch like the student class president's my wife. And you're 13, your parents will beat the shit out of you for watching porn on their screen. But you can watch this, and when they see it, oh, he's just watching a game, like a card game show or a little whatever. Oh, look at them. And they look at the animation. You're so, bro, can we talk about the backgrounds and how even the background characters don't even have shaded into it?
I love the like little cutouts. The like little cutouts.
or how they used the same background, and even when they did the 3D animation over it, they didn't even move anything. They just tweened the background around because they're that fucking lazy, and they used the same like sprinkler. Like it's so cheap. My only issue is it's average and it's cheap as hell, and the story's gonna like there's not gonna be a cool game because its tags are pure ecchi. It's pure ecchi romantic comedy. It's not going to be cool game.
So you're assuming every game is going to have some kind of like ecchi conclusion where he's going to win by some kind of stupid. I will say the first game was very disappointing, but I like so I will say the setup is interesting at the very least, right? Like I like the school battle style of anime, right? So the whole school battle setup is interesting. The games are interesting. The power-ups I don't like because it seems kind of random, honestly. Like
because they are random.
Because she was
the
like,
sword made no sense.
I'm gonna just pull the sword
confused.
out, and then
and she broke the rules. Like she was like, "Hey, you have to set it before we go. Oh, you only get 1/10 of a turn. It's a power up. Activate sword."
It's also like, how many power-ups do you get? Like she cut his turn down to 10 seconds, and then also got a sword. Like I thought the 10 seconds was the power-up. Like.
What you're saying here, as long as I don't change my emotions, I can go beat the shit out of you? Okay, I'm bigger than everyone there, so I'm just going to go and win by fucking them up.
It's also like,
how are you the 7-star game winner? Everyone that challenges me, I only accept challenges if it's a straight fight. Because if you're the highest person, you can just reject the challenges. You can reject the challenges. You don't have to accept it. So
Oh,
for
that's
7
true.
star,
They never said
you
you
don't
had to accept.
ever need to.
I didn't think about that,
It's
to be
bullshit.
honest.
It's all designed for titties.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you
Average
don't even have
titties.
to accept the challenge, do you?
And if you're
I thought
7
it was gonna
and
be
you tell
way
somebody
more-
beneath you, you can't.
I thought it was gonna be way more Kakigori like than what it ended up being.
I mean, if it's
You
more
want it to be
Kakigori, like that
good.
would have been pretty sick. I mean,
I understand.
they can save it. They just need good games, and they need to set like parameters beforehand. Like you can do whatever bullshit you want during the game, as long as I understand what bullshit is possible before the game happens, right? But like, if you just start making, because like even when they were playing the game, she was like, "Oh yeah, if you make any kind of expression, regardless of what happens, you lose." My man was definitely big confused the entire time. He was wearing the face of a lost man the entire time.
No, it's because he's Japanese protagonist, and he's such a soy boy. He's always confused, so it doesn't count against him. Oh, I'm sorry. Every Japanese main character's a coward, idiot, stupid. They're not smart. They're not. None of them are smart.
So, out of curiosity, I wanted to go see what the score was right now, like what it was sitting at, and I'm actually surprised because it has a 6.8
out of 10.
Yeah.
On like that my anime list scale.
Gotcha.
Like it's the average is 6.8, which is actually pretty surprising.
I mean, like I said, maybe the next few episodes turn up. Like maybe the games get kind of good.
It's new, so it's gonna stay high because not a lot of people have seen it, right? Like usually on a core, unless it's some X-Arm garbage, it's still going to be rated decently because let's be real here, it's a show. It is above average. It's an above average show, but above average, it's an above 5 show. It's not like it has animation errors, like super bad animation errors. It's not like it was made by a competent studio. It was just made for pennies on the dollar, probably by abusing in parents. And
I will say,
it's just not worth your time. There's too much good shit in the world. Go like instead of watching this show, call your mom. You know, like you know, go drink some water. Go walk outside.
Go touch some grass.
It's not worth watching. It's not worth the
My man said, "Yo, call your mom."
I'm very much the kind of person.
Ma, how you doing? You know, I was gonna. Oh, what happened to my camera? What's going on? The show was so bad it killed my camera. All right, we're back. Yeah, okay.
No, there we go.
We're back. All right, manual focus. That's me. We're in there. All right. So, oh god. So, final verdict on Liar Liar. I don't know if you got to share all your thoughts, Dylan. Will you continue to watch the show?
I'm gonna finish watching it.
You're gonna finish.
I'm gonna. I mean, no matter what, if I start something, unless the first episode was 100% like this is absolutely just stupid, I usually tend to finish watching no matter what, even if I don't like it at the end. If it wasn't absolutely terrible, like I'm gonna finish watching it.
You're a strong man.
I'm gonna.
You're a strong man. I give. If a conceit has potential or I can't tell where the story's gonna go in the first episode, I give everything a 3-episode rule. I give you 3 episodes to set your conceit up. Please get to the end. Make this something that isn't just filler, because unfortunately, because anime is so cyclical, I can't talk. It's so bad I can't talk.
It's got him messed up.
Because anime comes out so frequently, there's so many animes in a season. You have to be discerning, right? You got to realize so many books, so many mangas, so many shows come out. So much of it is shit that if you're not discerning, you're gonna waste what little life we have. You're a boomer. You're not here that long, man.
You're on borrowed time, brother.
5.5 hours of your life.
I work from home.
I work from home too.
I get a little extra time, you know.
Nah, bro.
That is not worth the extra
better
time.
Stuff. I can guarantee there are 10 out of 10 shows, 9 out of 10 shows you haven't seen that you could be watching in that time period. Don't settle for average, guys.
You know, so at first I was just like, I'm gonna finish it, just out of the soul, like moral, of, like I started, I gotta finish it. Now I'm gonna finish it because I have faith that after all this bad mouth that Richard did, that this show is gonna end up being a solid 7.5 to 8 at the end.
Oh damn,
That
that's
ain't even worth watching.
What?
he's doing it
But yo,
just to
I
spite
hope
Richard.
it is like that for you.
All right, so
I hope it's like that.
I'll say I'll give it the old college try. I didn't hate the first episode so much that I wouldn't try it again. You know. Also, I am a firm believer that sometimes you got to push a little bit more to greatness, right? Going on the whole 3 episode. I know a lot of people had that 3 episode rule. You know, even I have it to a degree. But there's been times where it took an anime like 4 or 5 episodes to really start cooking, and in fact, the perfect example of this, and I know we've talked about this before, Richard, but Punchline was a solid show that you just had to make it to like episode 4, but she didn't.
Dude, those first 3 episodes, bad, rough. It's beautiful because Mappa drew it. Mappa did it. It was beautiful. Watching it, you were like, "Yo, this is a very pretty show." Damn, this is stupid. I couldn't do it. I had to put it on pause. But I never said it was bad. I just said I don't know if I can do it, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it.
It is extremely stupid at the beginning, and that's kind of what caught me though, because like sometimes if a show is like so outrageously dumb, you're almost like, where's this going? Like, where could this possibly go, right? And that was my curiosity. I was like, this is like the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. I am extremely confused. I'm invested. I have to see because like I don't know if you ever watched Punchline, Dylan, but I would recommend it. I think it's very good. It's only like 12 episodes, but episode 1, to give you like the first 5 minutes of the episode 1, right? You have some dudes hijacking a bus, then a girl dressed up as like an orange themed superhero beats him up with a giant bendy straw. Then a guy on the bus sees her underwear, has a nosebleed, and then the planet explodes, and then they just kind of go
Oh
back.
yeah, you told me about this before.
Yeah, and like you have no idea what's going on, and it's very stupid, and it does have a fair amount of ecchi elements to it.
But the
because it's
budget
based
was
off of
so high.
huh?
The budget of the animation.
Yeah, the budget is
so
super high for that show for no
it's
good
so
reason.
high.
And like the first 3 episodes, they don't really tell you anything. They just kind of pull you along and just keep giving you random stuff. And then stuff hits the fan. Episode 4, you're like, oh, we got a real show on our hands, right? It's actually written by the same dude who wrote the Nonary games. It's written by the same dude that wrote Ever 17. So it's like, he's got to be cooking in the script. You just got to make it to the gold.
Well, like, all right, in all fairness, and don't get me wrong, because this is like it's a gem, it's a masterpiece. I love it. But how many people that like didn't watch Fully Cooley back then and are like experiencing Fully Cooley for the first time right now and are like do not understand what the fuck is going on? So I mean, like it's the same concept. I mean, I feel like there's some people who watch every episode of Fully Cooley and still don't know what the hell's going on.
Fully Cooley is meant to, like, you could know nothing, and each Fully Cooley episode is fairly independent and good by itself. Yeah. Like, if I go and I play the episode, Brittle Bullet from FLCL
Brittle Bullet
to anyone,
sick episode.
Now, whatever, it just slaps. You don't need to know the characters. The anime speaks for itself, all right? I had my issue with the plot from Punchline, but the animation, playing Punchline with the audio all the way down, the shit is beautiful. It speaks for itself. I'll bring up another thing that it took me a while to get into it. Dora Hedora, right? You watch it or you're reading it and you're like, I don't know if I feel this, but I'm going to let it cook. It speaks for itself. Now, sometimes shit can't speak for itself. Sometimes shit's just average. Can't save it, even if you give it past. Like I'm probably gonna piss some people off here. Blood Blockade Battlefront, super mid. You watching like this shit it has potential. This could be good, but it never delivers on the gooditude. All right, it never gets there.
The gooditude.
All right. Or sometimes you watch something that you know this is going to average, you know how it's going to end, and it's going to end up not being very okay. It's going to be okay. Solid 5, solid lukewarm. And that's Liar Liar. Now, if you want to spend your life If you want to go and example, I talk about a show and be like, yo, man, this jacuzzi is going to be really hot. It's going to be a great hot spring. We're going to get in this hot spring. It's going to be great. And you jump in a hot spring and it's room temperature water, you'll be disappointed.
I mean, so man,
Liar's room temperature water in an onsen. That's what it is.
Tabasco's too spicy for some people, Richard. You know, Tabasco is just too much for some
people. And those people have sad lives.
All right, but hold on, let's look at the other side of it. Sometimes you start something and it's really good, and then it just gets on a ladder and keeps crawling down, like, you know, Attack on Titan, for example. And you know, you can have a strong start and a shit finish.
Yeah,
I hate
but
that.
Maybe
that is one of my biggest issues with a lot of shows, that they just suck at sticking the landing so bad.
I'm gonna talk about Darling in the Franxx. Darling in the Franxx. Beginning was great.
Leave 0-2 alone.
Potential is gonna be great. And instead of taking a slow ladder down into the pits of hell like Attack on Titan, it decides to free fall base jump off of a cliff to its doom. It goes potential, dinosaurs, potential, hell. It's going like this. It's like this. It's like a radio wave going up and down, and then straight down. Flat line.
But it had a message. It still had an important message.
You know what the actual message was? The Japanese government telling its people, the Japanese government telling people, hey, go have sex and have babies.
Yeah.
Because y'all aren't doing it.
They're trying to increase the population.
We need more people.
It ain't work. All they got is vegetarian men in Japan. All right.
Oh my God.
They still got it. They ain't making babies. They not hitting. They not getting married.
Oh my God.
This dude is
herbivore men. My bad. Grass eater men.
Yeah, herbivore men. Yeah, that is the term. Let them cook. They'll come in their own one day. One day, Japan.
The problem is the part. They're not doing the cook part.
Oh my God. Well,
I had a feeling that was coming. I just didn't know if he was actually going to do it or not.
Well, anyway, yeah, there's plenty of anime out there that just suck at sticking the landing, or there's a bunch of anime that have like a really good premise up front, and then it just falls, like you're watching it each week, like when is it gonna get good? It just like one anime for me that I was super hyped about, and I was super disappointed when I watched it was what was it called? It was that Studio Trigger anime that came out, Kisniver. Kisniver to me, the concept
it never got good.
It never got good. Like the concept for Kisniver was so interesting. It was so good, and it was Trigger. So you're like, oh man, so Trigger makes bangers, bro. And there's no way this can't hit, and it just stays. Like it starts here, and it's just a slow descent the rest of the way for the entirety of the show.
Dude, the first episode, I'm like, I'm with it. Second episode, yeah, let's do it. Third, okay, when is it gonna get?
Yeah,
come on, do it.
You're doing this right. Need you to go this. Need you to go up. Need you to go up. Need you to go up. Yeah, like it was, and like the concept, like the character designs were cool, huh?
That's how I felt with Tomo, to be honest. Yeah. I think you like Tomo, but for me, I just was waiting for it to get good, and I wasn't getting it.
I mean, I like Tomo because sometimes I will say one of my guilty pleasures is just watching like a generic like rom-com fluff so I'll pick, even if it's not good, if it's entertaining enough, I'll watch it. It's like the little happy place show. I'll watch with my wife too because she likes a lot of rom-com stuff. Tomo for me was a fun thing because I enjoyed the characters enough to keep it going, but I will say overall it was very generic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are animes you watch with your girlfriend or whatever, like a season where I just watch Gakuen Babysitters with my girlfriend. Not because it's good. It's just a cute show to watch that's meaningless. It is what it is.
See,
but the problem with like
me and my fiance were watching Tomo because of that. And she, like, we went into it to watch it together, you know, just like we did with Shikamori and, you know, many others. And I think it was after the third episode, I had already had this idea in my head. I was like, is it gonna get good? But I was like, I'm not gonna say it out loud because I'm not trying to be like negative, you know. And like, I think she's enjoying it, so you know, I'm gonna let that rock.
Yeah.
And then after the third episode, she looked at me and was like, "Can we just go back to watching Buddy Daddies? I'm not feeling it." And I was like, "Bless."
Say less. I mean,
Say
that's fair. Like,
less.
sometimes those shows you can kind of feel the vibe, but the problem with Kisniver for me was that the vibes were immaculate at the beginning, and they got stale real fast. And it sucks because the plot is interesting, the characters are cool as hell. Like my boy with the red hair, I forgot his
Character
name,
designs.
but that dude was sick. The character designs were sick. Like each character felt interesting. Like they had personality off the screen, and the plot just didn't do anything.
I like the problem I have with Kids Niver. Okay, I can watch like when I'm watching with my girl, and we're watching something like subpar or like Liar Liars, a show I would watch with the girlfriend, and I would just roast it the entire time, and that makes it fun for both of us because I get to just roast average shit. Kids Niver is not a show I would call average because it was made with such loving care, but it's just like not good. Like it's like.
You can see the pain in his face.
It's so, or like Carbonari and the Iron Fortress.
Oh, bro,
that first
Carbonari.
episode,
Those first like 3 episodes were crack, bro. Like the first, like that was like, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. Like Carbonari's first episode goes down in history as like one of like the most engaging first episodes of a show, like almost ever for me, right? Like almost as engaging as Attack on Titan's first episode, right? But I would say even more so because whereas Attack on Titan, it all kind of comes at the end and like catches you off guard. Carbonari hits you in the beginning and you're like, it's like high adrenaline from jump and you're like locked in. And then it just...
They even had muscle back. They had the waifus. They had the combat. They had all the shit. And then they just...
It had so much going for it. It had so much
flub it.
Man, see now I'm upset. Now I'm disappointed. We're talking about anime that disappointed me. So let's do the opposite. Let's talk about some anime that's not disappointing. Let's move on to greener pastures, the things we actually like, right? That's what we actually gathered you all here today for, waiting for Dylan to sit back down. But we gathered you guys all here today for anime we actually like. So before the episode aired, Dylan asked each of us to go and find 9 anime that we wanted to like share, right? Not necessarily like the best 9 anime of all time, because that's an impossible task to ask of anybody, but 9 anime that we really enjoy, right? They could be, we enjoy them because they're really good. They could be like guilty pleasure shows. They can be like, you know, really nostalgic or have like some sentimental value to them, things like that. Just pick your 9 shows in that realm, and we're gonna, you know, share. We're gonna each share our own 9 shows. We're gonna talk a little bit about how we feel about those shows, and then we'll get our friends' opinions on said shows, which could be good or bad.
I want to preempt this by saying when he sent me this, I misunderstood what they asked for. I thought they were like, yo, what's your top 9 of all time? I was like, this is an impossible task you've given me. Jesus Christ. Like, that was some stuff you do to an anime fan where, like it's just like, it's too much. It's like, have you earned this from me? Like, how are we going to do this? It's like a commitment you just asked me to do.
I will say,
we're going to go with Richards first?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, so it was.
I want to see yours first.
Yeah,
Dylan.
you were the one that presented the idea, so I think you set a nice ground for everybody,
Dylan,
right?
You go first.
So before we see
so I'm gonna recap on it. The idea was not for top 9. It was just 9 of your absolute favorites. It doesn't matter if they're 2 out of 10s, because God knows there's a lot of 2 out of 10s that I enjoy. It's just about something you truly enjoy. And there was everything on this list. Some of these are in my top 10 actually, but some of them are not. But I just had an absolutely amazing experience watching them. So yeah, that's how we're gonna break it down.
So before Dylan talks about his list, I will also interject one last thing. Even for me, like top 9 of all time is hard because or top favorites, because my favorites change so much, and like week to week my heart can change, and I have to like seriously consider. I also will admit I made my list very last minute before this episode because I was making the graphics and stuff for the episode, so I was like, oh crap, I need the list too. So I kind of I threw some things in there, so you know if there's something questionable, don't worry about it. All right, we'll get there.
I shot off the hip a little. I thought about it deeply, and before I was gonna do 3 classics, 3 current, and 3 favorites, but it was hard, so I just kind of shot off the hip, which is why my list was like way more than 9 technically. But
yeah, you sent a lot more than 9. You're
I mean, I'm
nine.
It's
happy
just
you
you
did
gave.
it like that though,
Yeah, your
because
nine
like
was like
I wanted
12.
it to be like what just comes to mind. Like I didn't want that much like deep thought behind it, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and get Dylan's up on the screen first. He can talk about it. So here we go. We have Doki Doki Degen's list. So talk to us about it.
All right, so we'll start off with Initial D. Initial D is actually in my top three of all time. Uh, Favorite since I was a kid. Still love it now. Recently, actually
Goated.
rewatched it and then watched the three movies. Uh, Still beautiful. The manga is just as beautiful, but easily that comes to mind no matter what. In my top five, also is Gunslinger Girl. I I think Gunslinger Girl is what like built my love of like the whole girl gun genre, and just like I like the writing of it, the art styles, how messed up it can actually be. It's another thing that I probably rewatch every couple years. Yu Yu Hakusho, probably actually my number one of all time.
Yu Yu Hakusho
I
is a go to show.
what like the
Goated
Dark Tournament
again.
arc defined like they created the blueprint moving forward for tournament arcs in shonen anime, and I said in the previous podcast, like as a kid growing up watching this, like I found Yusuke so relatable, and I find it rare that you find a main character that you can relate to with how anime is nowadays. Like who's relating to Deku? Like come on now, who's relating to Tanjiro?
Mm-hmm.
Akiba Maid Wars was one of my. So this was 2 seasons ago, I think. It was. I think it was 2 seasons ago, maybe three now. Akiba Maid Wars was my favorite from the season. Akiba Maid Wars was amazing. So I'm pretty sure there was no source material. It was 100% original. I went into it instantly. I was like, "Yo, Maid Yakuza, like, girl, like maids just like offing each other sounds sick." What like every single episode was a what the fuck moment,
Mm-hmm.
and every time an episode ended, I could not wait for the next one to come out.
So I
Uh,
will say, Akiba Mayward is one of those shows where I wanted to watch. I never got a chance to. I heard it was real good. I like from the name, it sounded very uninteresting, right? I was like, okay, Akibahara maids fighting. Okay, I've seen like so many
The
random.
trailer.
Yeah, but
The
yeah, like
trailer sold me on it. I
yeah,
had to go watch it for that
yep.
trailer.
yeah. But I do need to
It
go
was
watch that. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard amazing
it.
I
things about it.
definitely think you would like it.
Yeah,
Want
but
to know
yeah,
how I ended up getting recommended to seeing it? A friend of mine was like, "Remember Bento?" I was like, "Yeah, I love Bento. It's a stupid concept, but it was really well done, really well executed. Just a bunch of people fighting over cheap lunches. Awesome. Imagine Bento, but it's maids bodying each other." I was like, "Okay,
sold. I'm in.
you sold."
But we'll let the gun girl aficionado get back to it.
Uh, it was like this is another one like I watched this with my fiance, and I thought for sure that originally watching with her that she was not going to be as into it, but I mean like at the end of every episode she'd be like, "Is that it? Is that it? I can't wait for the next one." And the way it ended, I highly doubt it's going to get a second season, but I really hope it does. I was not expecting the ending. It was like you never really expected anything about it. My Dress Up Darling was so typically like if I find a manga that's interesting and I find out that it has an anime adaptation coming out shortly after, I typically will just hold off on the manga and watch it. And typically, I don't pick up manga of something that I watched unless I truly love it. This was something that, like, as soon as we finished it, I had to go get all the manga for it. Um, I love the premise of it. It's cute. I think a lot of people were trying to put, like, saying it was, like, too etchy. There's etchy elements to it, I guess, sure. But I mean, like, it's also super wholesome and, like, just cute all around. This was another great experience. Like, it was one of my tops of the season easily. Berserk 97. Okay, it's a masterpiece. Thinking back, like, so I guess you could either love it or hate it as a Berserk fan because like the amount of stuff that's not in it, but like when you think that it was the whole premise of it was made as a like a I can't think of the word right now to try to sell the manga, because from what I had read at the time, the manga originally wasn't selling well. So they were like, what can we do to like boost it and get people more interested? So they put this together as like a pitch, and real like watching it, it's hard to think of that this was just like
Made to
thrown
make $1.
together to try to push manga sale. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's just so beautiful. Like I think I recently watched it again. I got excited to watch it when Netflix said that they got it, and then so at that point I had already had it in my mind that I was going to rewatch it. And when Netflix dropped the ball and then didn't say a single word about it, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to watch it. And I introduced one of my friends to it, and he had no expectations about Berserk other than he saw some clips of the 2016 like terrible CGI, and he immediately loved this. Angel Beats. Angel Beats, if I remember correctly, was from 2011, and it was like a really stacked season too. But this is around the era that I was like trying to watch all of seasonal animes when they were coming out, and I it's kind of a hard thing to describe, I guess, but this was just an all around fun time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another thing that like I regularly rewatch. The whole premise of it, like going into the world and putting together this falsehood to like do this, and like overall, I mean, with the concept, I guess you could take from it is to keep yourself like alive, because once you feel fulfilled, then you're gone. And the whole struggle with them, like doing this and then trying not to pass on. To me, this would probably fall in my top 10 easily.
So Angel Beats was honestly, not to cut you off there, but Angel Beats was one of those shows that when it came out that like I liked it so much, and like I thought it was like the perfect like gateway drug anime, right? Like I felt like it hit so many points about anime so well that you could show it to almost anybody. Like literally anytime a friend of mine who wasn't in anime was like, "Oh, well, you know, I'm trying to get an anime. What should I watch? Go watch Angel Beats," right? Like it gives you the comedy, it gives you a little bit of the action, it gives you the really the drama, the emotion. And I was just like, everybody should go watch Angel Beats, right? If you've never seen an anime before a day in your life, you can watch all these classics, sure, whatever. But if you want like a quick intro to anime, I thought Angel Beats was like the perfect like intro to anime for a lot of people.
I gotta say here, to be the only contrarian here, me and John Maeda, John Maeda, who wrote Angel Beats, Canon, Clanade, Charlotte. I got beef with him because he does the same. He has the same like set off into wham moments. He does in every one of his shows. And since Charlotte happened, I've been like, yo, fuck him and fuck all his stuff. I'm not recommending it. I'm not putting it. It's just not like it. I will say, Angel Beats deserves the respect it gets, but like once you see Angel Beats, then you watch the rest of the stuff he puts out, and you go, okay, I get his formula, and it kind of cheapens Angel Beats. Like Charlotte made Angel Beats worse retroactively.
Watching like Clanad After Story and all that.
Clanad,
watching Angel Beats.
It just kind of, I know what you're about, guy. You're not doing nothing to me because you do the same thing, and there's always going to be some fucking cooked up bullshit to set up your plot. Like, how dare you?
That's fair. I mean,
and there's always banger music. There's always banger music.
The music.
The sucker you in.
My Soul, Your Beats to this day. To this day. Slaps. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yo, fuck Maeda. Till I die. Fuck him. And Mori too. Fuck
I
Mori.
agree. Yeah, Mori. Yeah, I love Mori, but fuck Mori. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You can get back.
Are you good?
I just had to. Angel Beats is I've always loved Angel Beats. Granted, I have not seen Charlotte, but I've always loved Angel Beats. But
I haven't seen Charlotte, but I've seen Clanad. But I think another thing I really loved about Angel Beats was that it never went like one way or the other. Like it wasn't serious, it wasn't comedy. It was just you never knew what was coming. Like, at one minute you would have like these deep, serious, emotional, like heartbreaking stories, and like even like the where his backstory when they show like how he got there and stuff, and then the next minute it's Clown City, and I just love that. And like the goofiness, like the lunch tickets, the vacuum, the massively immense, fully thought out plan with the concerts, all to just vacuum up everybody's lunch tickets so they could eat good the next day. Like the goofiness like that, like it was such a good time.
I still think it's funny that they thought they were slick just putting Michael Jackson in an anime and thought we wouldn't notice, right? Like my boy TK. TK was one of my favorite. I quoted TK for years back in middle school. Like, oh yeah, good times, good times.
Obviously, one of the absolute goats, Ava. I feel like it's definitely one of those things that at this point I think I've seen all of Ava as a whole, like not rebuilds, but just Ava probably 12 or 13 times. I usually do it to like when I find somebody who hasn't watched it, I take that as an opportunity to rewatch it again. And I truly feel like Ava is something that like every single time you watch it, you pick up something
Get something
that you didn't before. Yeah, you always are getting something out of it. Like when I first watched Ava, I must have been like 7 years old. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was just like, yo, Kaiju sick, Big Mech sick, put like wimpy little fucking nerd not so sick, but everything else makes up for it. And
so I was the same
as a kid.
Like when I was a little kid watching it, I didn't get Shinji. Then I watched it as a teenager and I'm like, okay, I get Shinji. Then I watched it as an adult and I'm like, oh my god, someone help this
I am Shinji.
Oh, I am Shinji, dude. That's why the Rebuild 4.0, bro. Rebuild 4.0 like killed me on like my heart exploded watching it, especially
you talking about Thrice Upon a Time.
Yeah. And having Anno, basically everybody grew up on it. Everyone that's attached themselves to this character, he basically was just like, hey guys, this is goodbye. This is live your life, have your kids, move forward. Like it hit me. Like I had an emotional it almost gave me a quarter life crisis because it came out like I had like deaths in the family, all the other stuff. So Evangelion's always been there, whether it was like the death of my great grandma as a kid, death of like someone Ava's always been there. And I know it's one of those shows where you have to practice death of the offer. You can't listen to what Hideaki Anno says about, I didn't intend for it to have that meaning. Shut up, dude. It was there. The subtext is there. The meaning is there. Okay. You can't roll it back. Yeah, you made it while you were depressed, but it resonates and it gets better with time. Ava's so good. You owe it to yourself to watch it. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't let the age of it fool you. It is so good. Watch it, please.
I need to finish watching
specifically,
Ava. Oh, my camera? No.
What?
No, keep going. I think I need to finish watching Ava. I started it a while ago, and I just never finished it. Admittedly, I know it's like blasphemy. I need to go back and finish it.
That's crazy.
Well, now I can't really say what I want to say about Thrice Upon a Time because it'd be a spoiler to you now, essentially.
You really can't talk about it.
No, I mean, I'm
gonna very blindly say it. So, like you said, getting older, like I'm like, oh my god, I understand Shinji. The whole like Shinji chair meme, that's me every day at work. But like then the rebuilds came out. The rebuilds are all absolutely amazing. And then Thrice Upon a Time, that was anime moments. It was within the 4 different times that like I broke down watching something. And I remember watching it looked beautiful. Personally, Mari's my favorite character in the series, so all the Mari love. And the ending, the song,
it's so One Last Kiss,
the scenery, oh my god, I listen to it all the time, bro. I'll be in the car by myself and I'm like, crying in the car. Bro, when that final scene played, yes, because all I can think about is how beautiful that ending scene was. When that ending scene came on, it's like people were like, "Oh, this is the end." Like if you grew up as a child and you were an Ava fan, like you've been watching Ava most of your life now, like this is the end. This is the final goodbye to end the series. And I didn't really think about that going in, but when that final scene happened, it was like everything like flashed back to me, and it's just like it was just so beautiful, bro. I was on the sofa and it just the waterworks started hitting, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I was crying. My fiance looked at me. She was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "You don't understand.
Well, you don't understand, dude. I had to show. I had to show the movie. Like I watched it, my girlfriend. I showed it with my friend. I've watched it 3 times. Right. I don't know if I can do a 4th because I don't know if my heart can take it because it's one of those where it's like it is literally the culmination of my year. Like I've been watching anime since I was like 2. All right. I've been watching a long time. This was the culmination of everything. My VHSs with Evangelion on it, watching it on repeat because I didn't have cable with like college fan translations because it wasn't out here in America. Like my life flashed to me while watching it. It was basically Hideaki Anno saying, "Okay, out of the nest, baby birds, you're all adults now. Welcome to the real world," was what he did with that ending. And she was like, "Oh man, I'm not a youth anymore. Oh my god. Oh shit, he's moving forward. Oh my god." It's
my
so
other
much,
emotional
man.
moments,
I want to talk about it more, but I don't want to spoil it.
I'm
my
sorry.
my
I guess
my other emotional moments were like with Jose the Tiger and the Fish, A Silent Voice, but like those were emotional moments because like what was happening was so sad that like it hurt. This was like it was a combination of being sad because it hurts, but also being happy that I got to see the end of it. It was a lot.
I'm
Big
missing out.
emotional roller coaster.
I
You
was
are
like,
missing.
Ava
I
was
cannot
a
believe
y'all-
happy ending.
Y'all just got closer as human beings, not even as friends, as like
I
spiritual
understand Dylan
acquaintances. Y'all have just gotten closer, and I was just left out of that entire like spiritual moment, right? Like,
I'm actually mind blown that you've never finished it.
I mean, so like I
Bro,
started
we
watching
gotta
it,
fix that.
huh? Yeah,
We
I'll
gotta
fix.
fix
I
that.
promise. I'll fix
At
it.
Vegas, dude, I might just kidnap you, dude. We might just
Like no Evo in the hotel room. We're watching Ava
You missing
tonight.
pools, baby.
It wouldn't be the
You
first
got
time we
10
marathon.
pools.
Wouldn't be the first time we marathon an anime at a FGC event. Cause that's what best.
Yo, Fruity Kasaya.
Yeah, Fruity Kasaya.
Just give me a Kasaya. To this day. I love that fucking anime.
I
To
almost
this day.
I almost put that show on my list. I was very close to putting that on my list. I should have put it on my list actually. Damn.
It's a better visual novel than it is a show, but the show's really good.
The show is very good and it's one of the best protagonists. Okay. Anyway, well, I'll watch Ava. I'll watch Ava. I'll finish it. I'll watch the whole thing because I started when I was younger, and it's not that I wasn't interested in it. It's just that there was like a lot of confusion about like which like sub to watch at the time and like the order of like the movies, and I didn't like really like I was young, so I wasn't like really paying attention to like how to do it. And I started watching.
And don't watch it through Netflix.
Yeah, I was watching
Netflix
it on.
version is trash.
I was watching it on
Netflix
like,
actually removes stuff that like I feel like is
like
important.
integral.
I watched Netflix and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
You don't
Whenever I'm
even
ready
understand
to
what some
finish my
stuff is
Ava
happening.
journey, I'll hit y'all 2 up and y'all will point me in the right direction.
Just watch
I will
the
actually,
original
when you get to the
series.
rebuilds, I will actually watch the rebuilds with you.
Same.
Definitely.
Let me watch it.
100%.
Please let me watch it.
I want that. I want
Actually,
to be
I
able
want
to
to
watch
watch End of Evangelion and then the rebuilds with you. End of Evangelion also slaps, and you'll understand that I'm fucked up, meme. You get it? Damn, I'm fucked up.
All right, we'll watch it. We'll watch it together. That'll be another thing we do. It'll be a group bonding experience when I get there. All right, let's go ahead and let Dylan finish this. Let's only have 1 show left on this list. I should have saved
Like a Rico.
Ava for last, apparently, but
Definitely. So, Licorice Recoil, obviously you already know why. I was excited and went straight into it when I saw it. Who would have guessed? This is another Gun Girl anime.
Gun Girl
but-
gangster right there.
I love what they did with it. Like it kind of like in a way without actually being like it. Like I don't know if you're familiar with like Girls Frontline, but it kind of fits into that in a way too. But it was Gunslinger Girl, if Gunslinger Girl didn't make you depressed. If Gunslinger Girl made you smile and laugh the whole time, you got Licorice Recoil. It was the complete opposite of what Gunslinger Girl is. It was the action was amazing, the animation was beautiful, the storytelling was great, the like character backstories were great, side characters, even some of the side characters that you at first think, oh, this, fuck this character, it's not important, becomes one of your favorite characters. Like the story was just amazing. I cannot give this show enough praise. I actually think I might be wrong, but I think when they did the Japan Crunchyroll Awards, Licorice Recoil was like up there for anime of the season or year last.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anime of the year last year. Yeah, I thought it was such an amazing concept.
Win, but it's really like Rico is quite good. It has the advantage of having like godlike quote unquote waifus. Even has like that handstand scene people talk about. My only problem I had with like Rico, because I like it. I love guns and girls. I mean, since Gunslinger Cast as a kid, I love those. But the problem with it is I have problems with the pacing, because if you're gonna do the cute girls being cute, that genre is so refined that its cute girls being cute portions weren't good enough to keep my interest. But the action scenes and the setup with the way they would wonderfully animate the gunplay scenes were so high level. I feel like that carried its slow, like meandering pacing in the beginning of it, right? Like their world building, but it's like, can we get back to like John Wick with rubber bullets, please?
That's one of the things that stands out, like bullet animation. Like it really is like they got some John Wick shit moments in it. The bullet animation definitely it was so good and so well animated. But I will say I like the cuteness though. Like I think it was like it must have been 6 months after watching it, I would still find myself randomly like having like those like random like spurt moments the way you just say random shit. I'd be like Takina, like hearing her say Takina over and over. Like I was doing that shit for months, man.
Honestly, it came out if it came out like last if it came out the year before last, it would have been anime of the year. But it came out with like gods, like actual gods, right? Like you have
it was the same season as
Edge Runners, Usama ranking, like godlike Taxi, godlike shows at the same time as it. So it's like it really is just bad timing.
It definitely deserved to be at the top. It was in a season, one of the only seasons last year that was actually packed with big hitters across the board.
Yeah, sometimes timing is all it takes to throw you off your game. You know, you gotta just pray that the other studios don't want to release fire when you're releasing fire. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, 6. So
that's my 3x3. It, like I said, it was just 9 of my overall favorites.
Here we go. One last.
Not my 9 favorites.
It's a good list. Some of those things are not like the other. I gotta say, some of those.
I don't have a specific taste.
These are godly.
Yeah.
I don't have a specific taste.
Why is this on the list with that?
Just say it. You want to say why is My Dress Up Darling there? You can say it. It's fine.
Oh, I wasn't even gonna say that. I mean, I get why some people like Dress Up Darling. You know, like at least it wasn't like Don't Tease Me, Miss Nagatoro, some shit, or else I would be even more disgusted.
Dress
Up Darling isn't a bad show. It's just a show I'm not gonna watch. It's fine. It's not for me.
Well, also, right? And then we cosplayed together and stuff like that. So I think that was another thing that like made it so much enjoyable for us together was like their relationship and like the bond through cosplay. Like me and my fiance pretty much mostly only do cosplays together. Mm-hmm. So I think that was another thing I played into it. It's just really cute. But yeah, as you can see, like that just from those 9. I mean, I can go way more obscure than that. I was trying to keep it tame for this, but. Yeah. I don't have any kind of specific taste at all. Like I feel like a lot of people are like, you mostly love shonen. Actually, I watched less shonen over the last like 8 years than anything else.
That's fair.
I love the Initial D pick though.
Yeah, Initial D was.
People don't give Initial D enough love. It's so good.
All right, well, I'm sad I didn't. I have so many like I have the. What is it? What is it called? 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 What is it c let's see. I probably have like 10 shirts. I got the Speed Star shirt. Like I have been my favorite since a kid, man. I used to have the 86 model. When I used to play, like when I was a kid playing like Need for Speed Underground 2 and shit like that, instantly picking the 86 on PS2, trying to
Same,
make the 86.
same.
I was literally every Need for Speed game was just me recreating the cars from Initial D. And
That's how
man,
you know you're
Eurobeat
in deep.
music. Oh my god,
That's how you know you're in
the
deep.
music.
I only was it? I mean, everybody knows the iconic Deja Vu. That's like
Yep.
my main gateway to anything Initial D. I have not.
Honestly, Eurobeat in general, you can thank Initial D for popularizing Eurobeat
Absolutely.
with people my age, because I would not be listening to that if it wasn't any Eurobeat song. I'm like, yo, it's time to drift, boy. It's time to go fast. All right.
Bro,
If
when I'm in the
I'm gonna
car
be
and
late to
Eurobeat
work,
comes on,
Eurobeat, boy, come to break some laws. Ugh.
I'm on Mount
I
Akina.
let it
Like in
drive
my,
manual
I may
because of
be
that
on
show.
Veterans Boulevard, and like in reality, I'm on Veterans Boulevard. But when it comes on in the car, I'm on Mount Akina, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I got
All
some
right.
shit. I got some shit to deliver, boy.
We got to get it there today, right now. All right.
I
So that
even
is.
found the actual cup holder that I'm getting for my next car, and I'm gonna have a styrofoam water cup in it at all time.
Yeah, don't let it drip.
All right, so that is Doki Doki Degen's list. I don't know who was I put next. It's either me or Richard. I'm gonna click the button, and whoever shows up, we'll
I
talk
hope it's
about it.
Richards.
But I don't remember. I think this was Richard's. This is Richard's. Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh, that is me. Whoa, what a spread, boy. What a spread.
So two of these
I love you
two
hit
of these
free
things
space 'cause I
actually
had
almost
too
made it on my
much.
list.
Oh man. Where do I start? Okay, so I put Gundam in general, but like Thunderbolt's probably my favorite now. Thunderbolt is like, if you've ever watched Universal Century, it's got all of that Universal Century goodness with the execution of just adults on a battlefield with an incredible jazz inspired soundtrack, and like and then they reanimated some of the most glorious battles of Mobile Suit Gundam 0079 from different point of views. It is like, if you're a Gundam fan, if you ever watched 0079, 0080 War in the Pocket, 0083, any of those, if you've ever watched any of those, or any Universal Century, go watch Thunderbolt and then go watch Halfway Flash and be like, and it will remind you why you love Gundam. Truly, it's so good. Um, it's definitely like not my actual top 9, but it's just like Gundam in general is always gonna have a space in my heart.
Yeah, he put generic Gundam. I was disappointed he didn't drop G Gundam in there, but that's just me.
G Gundam.
G Gundam's different.
G
G Gundam is Super Robot. G Gundam Super Robot. G Gundam super fun, but I don't count it in the Gundam lineage. G Gundam is its own slot.
Like
in
SD
a list
Gundam.
I would put on. SD Gundam is
Or
its own
Gundam
slot
Build
in its
Fighters.
own thing. Build Fighters, I can. I count Build Fighters as a real Gundam. I have to.
Oh wow!
Because it's animated so well. The original Build Fighters, Build Fighters is a sports anime.
It is
designed to pander to every Gundam nerd growing up.
It's basically a card game.
It's
anime.
so good. Like Build Fighters is so good. Like, if you ever Kuroku, imagine Kuroku no Basket, except instead of playing basketball, we build Gunpla and we beat the shit out of each other. That's Build Fighters.
Basquatch then.
Basquatch, but good? Basquatch is not good. Basquatch is not good. Basquatch could have been good. First episode of Basquatch was good, and then it fell off a cliff.
We've talked about a lot of those today.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's why people don't remember Basquatch. It's like, Basquatch? Wait, people with robot exoskeletons playing basketball?
Yeah, that's
what
hype.
the fuck?
That's hype as hell.
Yeah, and then you realize it's not good. It should have been good. Of course, Gurren Lagann. You have to. Gurren Lagann is like the preeminent super robot. It's like Gurren Lagann to me is the reconstruction of the robot genre, super robot genre, answer for the question posed by Neon Genesis Evangelion's deconstruction of the robot genre. They're opposite ends of the same spectrum, which is why any list where I put Neon Genesis Evangelion, Gurren Lagann's going right by it. They answer each other. One is giving you the hopes and dreams of a young boy, a shonen, showing you that you can accomplish great things, you can do stuff, but also it gives you that downside as well. The problem with the drill, and then you have Evangelion, where it's like, do we even get in the robot? What happens? Why are we here? What is there any romance involved in the situation? No, there's not romance here, but you have to do what you need to do. But also, you can't let your mental illness slow you down either. I don't know. I could talk about this forever. I'm not going to go into it because I'll be talking for days. But those two go together. Those two go together. All right. Nagi no Asukara or Alola in the Sea. It's just a really good show. It's really fun to watch. It is a romance. This was one that got recommended to me by my girlfriend. We watched it together. It was really good. I thought about putting this or Your Lie in April or Anohana there, but I went with this because this one was a lot more fun to watch. And it was completely original, and it's just a good time.
I will say for a couple of these, Richard had like, this option / this option. I was like, bro, I can't put everything on the list. Like a lot of these were doubled up options, and then past that, he still had like an extra list of other options that he could have threw on there.
Okay, so on this one, I had Nagino Asakura, but I also had Three Gatsu no Lion. March comes in like a lion because that one's another one that to me is on the same level and similar vibes, except Three Gatsu no Lion also has shoji on top of it, where Nagino Asakura is like, hey, this is a crazy fantasy premise, but it's just relationships in time. And of course, you got to shout out Kawajiri. I went with Ninja Scroll instead of I could have put Demon City Shinjuku, could have put Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, but Ninja Scroll, it's got you're not an anime fan if you haven't watched a Kawajiri movie. Probably go watch all of them because they're all godlike and they got us to where we are right now. Serial Experiments Lane. I wouldn't have gotten into the anime I'm into, the anime I love, if it wasn't for Serial Experiments Lane. It came at a great time in my life. Shout outs to Tech TV, Anime Unleashed Block, me being a little kid watching that in the middle of the night, and Serial Experiments Lane opening my third eye. And also, Duvet by Boa is one of the greatest anime intros of all time. One of the greatest anime OPs of all time. You can see it word for word, and it stands up to it right now between, Smile Bomb and from Yu Yu Hakusho and Duvet from Serial Experiments Lane. It's hard to pick a goat for OPs.
Yeah, that's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, no. Dude, it's so good. Like people talk about Ghost in the Shell Inner Universe or by Rega or whatever, but it's nah. Duvet by Boa beats low diff. It low diffs everything. It's so fucking good. I don't know if Lane's animation stands up because it was made using cutting edge digital animation at the time, considering that was 97. That's not cutting edge anymore.
Yeah.
I actually still think it holds up.
I'm hyper biased, so I can't judge it on the same level, right? Textilize or Ergo Proxy, I can judge without, but Lane put me on that path, man. Without Lane, Richard the Anime Roger probably doesn't exist. And then what's the next one? Shinsekai Yori. This is probably my number one anime. I loved the book. The book was really good. The anime it came out of nowhere. I watched it out of the blue because I remember looking at the cover and I'm like, what is this about? And I watched it and I was blown away by you take a hard sci-fi take on a fantasy situation, and then as it slow builds and reveals, it just gets better and better and better the more you watch it. It's another one where you need more than 3 episodes to watch it, but it gives you something to help you latch on to as you watch it. It's not like, hey, slow build for nothing. Because there's no intro. Shiseki Yori has no intro. It doesn't have time for an intro. It gives you flashbacks or flash forwards in time before the episode proper, the kids you're following. Every bit of information it gives you, even if it's a little bit of a knowledge dump, is important and isn't even there for you to understand it. Is there for your second or third watch through to get what's going on. Each episode has a different animation director, so you can see that the art style's changing episode. They try A1 Pictures, which normally plays it very safe, tried things with this anime, and it's only for the better. It's so good, and Screamer was right. What's the next one?
I was gonna say real quick, my one gripe with Shinseki, I have exactly one gripe with Shinseki Yori, and that is what we talked about last day. For me, it didn't stick the landing. The ending, like the build up to everything, was so good that it almost felt like the ending. And like I get why, because like it kind of like grounds everything at the end, so it makes sense because it goes back into like a feedback loop, right? Like the problem's not actually solved, the problem is still going on, but this is how society is. But my main issue is that when I feel so much stress and tension and anxiety every single episode, I need that release at the end to be orgasmic, right?
See, that's why I love it, because there's no you're not supposed to get relief. It's like Devil May Cry Baby. There's not supposed to be real life. Life does not have a good ending. Life does not have a climax. You live life and then you die, and that's the point. It sets the situation up, and you're just there for the ride. And as much as you want to be the game breaker of life, you're never going to be the game breaker of life. You can't break the system unless all life ends. That's the problem. And unless you want humanity or the earth to fundamentally freeze in time, you'll never get what you think is going to happen.
That's true.
There is no savior. It just is what it is, and that's what makes it so beautiful. It makes its statement, and it don't give a damn what you think. That's why I love it.
The fair. That is 100% accurate. And every time I think about the show, I hurt a little bit on the inside, but it's okay.
If it was a shonen, it would have had the ending you wanted, the payoff you wanted. I
don't even know if it would have, honestly. Because like I'm not, without any spoilers, but like the moment it gets to like the time skip and like everything starts going to hell, I don't even think if it was a shonen it would fix. Like I just think at that point it's already on the path to destruction. Like they would have had to fix things way earlier for it to be a good ending.
If there was a shonen, the kids and the people of the village would be okay. It would go full Iron-Blooded Orphans. I don't know if you ever watched Iron-Blooded Orphans, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. The main characters are technically not the protagonists, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if you wanted the ending you're asking for, the main characters in this wouldn't be the protagonists. They would be
some kind of antagonist,
side characters, or antagonistic,
or at very
whatever.
least instigator. They would have had to instigate action to happen.
Yeah. Or I mean, they were like their system was. I mean, I don't want to.
Let's not get into it. Let's not get into it.
But it's one of those, and this is one of the few animes that, despite its flaws, and my heart still gets a 10 out of 10 because it's just makes a statement, and it believes in its premise and it executes. And please don't read the manga. The manga massacres the source material.
Yeah,
the manga is an adaptation. The manga is an adaptation because this is based on a real book. It's Shinseki Yori from the New World is a book, and then it got an anime because the anime was pretty good. They're like, let's make a manga. Except the manga dude did not read or watch the thing. He did his own thing, and he made an abomination. So please don't stay away from that.
That makes me want to read it, to be honest.
Yeah, did you go read the
No,
book?
please don't.
Oh,
Read
you
the
want to
book.
go read the manga? Yeah, the manga is
Don't read
pretty
the manga.
bad. But anyway.
Place further than the universe. This is the modern age cute girls being cute goat. It's fantastic. You watch it, it makes your heart smile. I rarely say that. As a man who lives and breathes tragedy, I can watch something that just makes your heart smile. It's really good. Madhouse made a cute girls being cute anime, and it bangs. Evangelion, need I say more? I don't need to say anything.
We kind of already went ham on Evangelion.
And my free space, shit. There's too much, man. It's too much. I will say, shout outs to Odd Taxi, shout outs to Made in Abyss, shout outs to Edge Runner, shout outs to Kaguya-sama. It's really fucking good.
Yeah, Kaguya-sama also almost made it on my list.
It makes romantic comedies seem kind of average romantic comedies kind of trash. How good it is. Shout outs to Zetsu no Tempest. People don't talk about that show enough. That show is mad good. If you love Shakespeare, if you love The Tempest, and you love Hamlet, go check that one out. Shit. There's a lot of good anime, man.
There's
it's
a lot
hard.
of good shows. All right. So I mean, Richard's list also pretty good. Like y'all shared Eva, which obviously y'all shared that moment earlier as well. Ninja Scroll classic, Gurren Lagann. Who people love that show. Lane is one of those picks where like you don't really see it super often, but like I respect it. I had a friend that did like a big anime kick back in like college. Like he was like he watched no anime, but he would do like these binges where he would like watch. He would get really deep into one thing, like completely become like as consumed by it as possible, develop a bunch of taste, rank a bunch of things, and then move on, right? So he did it in middle school with music. He listened to a bunch of different types of music. He did it in high school. Well, not a bunch. He did it mostly with like rock and like alternative rock and stuff like that in middle school. In high school, he did it with nothing but like rap and hip hop. He like studied like a bunch of classics. Like he like got to the point where he was like buying the new Kanye albums when they were coming out back in like the early like 2014s or whatever. He was like super deep into that. He was really into movies, which that's what he's into now because he ended up becoming like a filmmaker. But there was a brief period in between the hip hop and the movies where he was deep into anime. He had never watched any anime, and he just consumed more anime than you probably should have within a year. And Lane was on his like top list of like top 10 anime of all time within that short year.
Lane was so ahead of its time when it was coming out. You gotta realize, like, when it was coming out, the internet wasn't like super big, dude. Like, not everyone even had like internet in their homes. About
dial-up.
Mm-hmm. And Lane was just like social media. It was ahead of the time on social media, ahead of the time on like people having second lives on the internet and how their internet lives are more important to them than their real life. Where like the first episode, a girl kills herself to more permanent, more embrace her online persona than her offline persona, because who she was online was more important to her than real life. Yeah. Like Lane slaps, all right, like in concept, and as it goes forward, like the technology looks a lot. It's more like the archaic technology, but like modern sensibilities. Yeah, and you're wait, and you go check the date. It's like 96, 97.
Is he from the future? How do you know?
Excuse me?
So
like,
I think that is one of the
cyberbullying.
So the two things, Lane and Gurren Lagann almost made my list. Like they were literally like 2 or 3 spots away from making it. Gurren Lagann's just always been a great time, and Yoko, but also like Lane. I've always loved Lane. And I also got to, watch at a younger age. Lane sticks out so much to me for like the same reason Perfect Blue does. It's because like more than most other options, Lane and Perfect Blue really pushed something. They were ahead of its time because they were really pushing something that didn't necessarily like fully exist yet. Like what you see now, definitely with like how big Twitter is and stuff like that, and people literally care more about how many followers they have on social media than they care about what's in their bank account. It's like the whole chronically online thing. Like Lane showed that in the '90s when it didn't even exist.
Mhm.
And I just you have to respect. It's just overall an amazing show, also. But you have to respect something that was able to borderline predict something, like predict the future with what happened.
It is extremely scary that Lane, which is a psychological cyberpunk horror, is accurately predicting states of our society right now.
Mhm.
That's kind of scary in retrospect when you think about it. But if we end up with 15-year-old terminally online girl as the computer god, Lane called it, bro. It is what it is.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get into my list now, so we can try to start getting to the end of this. Before we get into my list, I'm gonna just go ahead and preface this with a bunch of honorable mentions because y'all have said y'all's piece. So I'm gonna start my honorable mentions. Like I said earlier, there's a bunch of shows that could have made this list. I almost put Yu Yu Hakusho on my list. I didn't. I almost put Death Parade on my list. I didn't.
So good.
I almost put Fruits of Josiah on my list. I didn't.
Slaps.
so many good shows. I almost put Kaguya-sama on my list. I didn't. I almost put, honestly, on top of Kaguya-sama, I almost put Oshi no Ko on my list, but I didn't because it's only been one season, and I was like, I'm gonna let it cook.
Akasaka is so fucking good at writing. It bothers
He really
me.
is. It's problematic.
He's
honestly.
so fucking good.
I can't put both of his shows on my list, but I was like, I'm gonna just to make it more diverse. I'll put some other shows on there, but there's a lot of shows that almost made it. And then I said earlier I was gonna put one Dijin show on the list just for the lulz. I didn't put it on the list because as I thought about it more, I realized some shows I cared about a little bit more. But Keijo almost made this list as well.
I was just about to say it was either Keijo or Prison School. I knew it was going to be one of those two.
Keijo was
Keijo is goated. It's really good.
Literally in the first draft of this list, Keijo was there, and I was like, I'm gonna just let it rock. And then I thought about it, and I was like, there's some other shows I want to put on the list though. But Keijo
was the best sports anime.
Keijo was literally the last show I cut off my list. It was literally the last show I cut off my list.
Dude, this is why it's always good. Keijo's always gonna be goated to me because Homegirl opens the gates of Babylon, but it's just asses.
No, the part
it's just asses coming out of the gates of Babylon.
I mean, I was already sold on Keijo episode 1 because I saw the premise of it and I was like, okay, this has to be a cheap, like we said earlier, a cheap fan service anime. It's gonna be something you'd write off. But I was like, I'll give it a chance. I'll watch it. I was hooked on episode 1 when old girl was uppercutting girls in her chin, basically drowning them in the pool. They're dying down there. This is not to be played around with.
Your ass.
She just knocked her out, fell into the pool, no remorse. Someone saved that girl. She can't swim. She's unconscious. I was like, okay, this is. And then the episode that really, really got me too was whenever old girl was fighting the speed chick, and she was like, I gotta wait for the last 30 seconds, and then she's like, W acceleration or K acceleration, and she just starts teleporting. I'm like, oh, she's literally zipping around. You hear the boom, 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 boom sound effect.
They're having Hokuto no Ken fights, Fist of the North Star versus Fist of the South Star, and there's this big bitch, and she's fighting a speed bitch, and she goes, do ass of Vajra, and the move appears on the thing, and her ass becomes harder than a diamond, or chicks I've noticed, I've learned to rotate my nipples to hypnotize you.
It's so stupid, but in the best
draw
way.
You into my domain.
The thing I love about Keijo so much is that it could have easily just been a fan service write-off show, but they take themselves so seriously by not being serious at all, and it works. It's the perfect we're going to 100% believe in this show. We're not here to mess around. We're going to treat it as if it's a shonen sports anime unapologetically, even though it's about tits and ass. And that's why Keijo is so great.
The one moment from Keijo that really threw me off hardcore was I can't remember her name, but when towards the school versus school battle, her parents show up and her dad
Oh,
the one like the martial artist,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
her dad shows up and he's in the crowd, and just the idea of what's happening and the dad and being in the crowd like let's go, and it was like
Sure.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
support baby, let's
Yeah.
go, let's go.
All right, but yeah. So now that I got all of my little quick honorable mentions out of the way, here is the list that I made for you guys today. Keep in mind, a lot of this is always subject to change, but here we go. So first off, we have Akudama Drive. That's number one on my thing right here. These are not ordered, by the way. I'm just kind of throw them on here. But Akudama Drive, a little bit more recent, came out a couple years ago. I thought the show was really good, and it's kind of like we were talking about with Shinseki Iori, where it's like you're technically not supposed to win. Like the ending, I think I'm not gonna spoil anything, but they stick the ending really well in the show. I think it's one of the best endings of an anime I've watched, and it's wrapped up in 12 episodes. There's a lot of emotion in the show. The characters are cool. I like Akudama Drive a lot. But yeah, it's definitely one of those shows where it's like, man, you wish they can win, but like it gets real bleak in a lot of different areas. But it's a fun show. It is very fun as well. And the animation's sick. They have like really cool fight scenes. The characters are like just really cool on screen doing stuff. And yeah, it's good.
Shout outs to Brawler.
Yeah, Brawler is that dude, bro. Brawler is
Shout outs to Brawler.
Yo, Brawler. Oh, I loved him so much, bro. Oh my god,
And fuck Doctor forever.
yeah, it's worst character. Yo, even though what's his name? The not the low class dude that was like Brawler's biggest hype man. Even he had his moments, bro.
Yo,
like,
Hoodlum?
Hoodlum. Yeah, even he had his moments, bro. I was like, oh, this show is cooking.
Yo, I wasn't gonna watch Akudama Drive, and you're like, you're rich. Yo, check it out, man. That's not what you think. Check it out. It's like, all right, I'll watch it.
Yeah, Akudama Drive is sick. Good show. All right.
Inspired by Reservoir Dogs, by the way. Check it out.
Next we have Ranma 1/2. Ranma 1/2 is just one of my like classic. Like this is one of the anime that like really got me deeper into the anime like rabbit hole. Right. I used to have a neighbor that used to stay across the street, and he had like a bunch of like anime that he would watch back before like it was really popular. Like this is back before like Naruto was on TV, right? Back before they had like Bobobo and Zatch Bell on TV. Back when all you had was like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, right? And Sailor Moon. And I would go by his house, and he'd be watching like DN Angel, Naruto, Love Hina, you know, just a bunch of shows like Japanese dubbed. He got ripped on DVDs from his friends, and Ranma 1/2 was one of them. And I just loved like the whole like fun martial arts vibe. I loved like the goofy comedy. I hate Haposai. Haposai is like the worst character. I kind of wish he didn't exist. I think the show is a bit worse because Haposai, because like season 1 and season 2 are great, and then season 3 introduces Haposai, and it's like every episode with him is a little worse off. He adds not much value to it, but like he has his moments, I guess, but not really. But really, Ranma 1/2 is just like really nostalgic for me. I love the show. I have the entire manga up there. I have all 7 seasons on DVD and Blu-ray, including the OVAs and movies. Like, I wish I had more Ranma 1/2 merch to show for it. All I really got is have a big like Peach-on like Ryoga in this pig form plushie that they were selling. But yeah, Ranma 1/2 I just think it's a fun show. I like Ranma, I like the characters. Also, the old Ranma 1/2 fighting game is absolutely busted, and everybody should go watch. There was like an SBO one year where they like played it. It was the funniest tournament I've ever seen. It's like Street Fighter 2 where like moves will like randomly stun out of nowhere, but like characters have TODs. Like Ryoga has like an invincible DP where he punches the ground, so he doesn't leave the ground, so it's safe on block because it has mad pushback too, and it can stun. The DP can stun, and so if you does random DP and you get hit and it stuns you, the combo is heavy into DP again and you die. It's just a TOD from full life.
Was that the SNES Ranma game?
Yeah. Girl Ranma's top tier. Ryoga is top tier apparently, and then the Baton Girl's also top tier. She just doesn't do any damage, but she's real obnoxious. But yeah, so past Ranma 1/2, I have School Rumble. So when we talk about like the goofy like rom-com anime, yes, Kaguya-sama is like a cut above when it comes to like modern rom-com anime.
School Rumble, there's no Kaguya-sama.
Yeah, exactly. Like School Rumble to me is like wrote the book on like the best like mix of like comedy, romance, drama, because it's hilarious one episode and like the goofiest stuff is happening, and then out of nowhere they just hit you with like all of like the relationship drama and the feel like School Rumble. I like love School Rumble. Plus it's a show that me and my little sister, like my little sister watched School Rumble because I watched School Rumble, and then she became a huge fan of School Rumble, almost more than me. And it's just one of those shows where I just love the characters. Harima is like one of my favorite like rom-com protagonists because he's not your standard rom-com protagonist. He's just a dude who's trying to be a delinquent, but then he's like, nah, I can't be a delinquent anymore because love. And then he just goes on like this stupid journey of self-discovery and becomes like a manga artist and a fisherman and it's just so good. Like, watch School Rumble. It's so much fun. I will say it is a bit older, so like some of the scenes I guess don't hold up as well because of age, but I do think the comedy holds up extremely well. Like I could rewatch it and just laugh every time.
I gotta ask you, have you seen Sedokai Yakuin Domo?
No, I have not seen it. I was going to start watching it like a couple years ago because I think Gerald told me about it, and I just haven't. Oh,
It's like School Rumble.
I think
again.
Jerry told me about it actually.
Because Gerald put me on it. Like it's a Gerald show. It's like if you like School Rumble, you'll probably like Sedokai Yakuin Domo, and I mean that one's a little bit more goofy to me.
Is that the one where like
they're both super goofy,
like the mermaid people or whatever? Is that the one?
I don't remember a mermaid person.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking about something different. Yeah, I think Gerald did tell me about it though, but I might be remembering something different. But yeah, School Rumble is probably what started my love for like the fluffy rom-coms. I give almost every rom-com a chance because School Rumble just put me on that path. I also have all of the School Rumble manga on my shelf back there, but I'm upset because the publisher for School Rumble back when it was being published in English was Del Rey Comics, which published a lot of other things, but then Del Rey went under, and Kodansha Comics picked up a bunch of their titles and IPs to finish them off, and it did not pick up School Rumble. And School Rumble ends on like volume 22, and they stopped at volume 18. They were 4 volumes away, and they just never finished the story in English. It's very upsetting as someone who collected it. In fact, to add insult to injury, the last volume they released was an omnibus. So it was like volumes 1 through 14 you can get like single backs, and then 14 through like 17 or like 15 through 18 is only in omnibus form for some reason.
So now it's got to look all weird on the shelf together.
It's very obnoxious. I'm very upset about that, and I'm sad Kodansha or some other company never picked it up to finish it. I felt like it was really popular, especially in that time frame. So it's shocking that no one finished it.
Nah. They're never going to do it. It's too old, bro.
Yeah,
unless you're Dragon Ball, you don't get re-releases.
Yeah, it's too late now.
You don't get re-releases.
And now you have too many good romance comedy shows like Kaguya-sama and Snafu and all of those. Like, it's never coming back. It's too far gone now. Unfortunate. Next on my list, Baccano. Baccano is such an underrated
Goated.
show. It's such an underrated
Underrated? Show. It's goated. What?
I mean, it's
Baccano's
like,
so good.
Well, like I say, it's underrated because like it's not a lot of people know about it. Like you'd be surprised how many people don't know Baccano or have never seen it.
I feel like I haven't talked to a lot of people who don't speak highly of Baccano.
Really?
Yeah.
Baccano is so.
Durara put people on Baccano, and then you watch Baccano, and they're like, oh shit, this show slapped. Now, the average person probably, the normie that watched Boku no Hero Academia doesn't know what Baccano is, right?
Yeah. For sure.
But
for sure.
Their opinion don't matter anyway.
I mean, I feel like the problem with Baccano for like the average person is that because the story is so non-linear, especially if you hadn't watched Durara and you just came across Baccano on its own, it's so non-linear and hard to follow at times that I feel like a lot of people just lose the attention span to keep up with the plot, right? On top of that, Baccano is a show I will only ever recommend in English dub only for Baccano. That is the correct way to watch the show. It is a superior version of the show. I'm not really a sub versus dub person. I don't really care.
I am, but this dub is next level. It's very good. It's
one
like
of the best
Bebop.
dubs ever.
You watch Cowboy Bebop dubbed. You don't watch sub Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
You don't watch sub Samurai Champloo.
Like every voice in Baccano is perfect for each character. They did so much research on like the time frames to get the accents and the slang and all that right. Like it is just an amazing voice performance from everyone involved. Like it just every character feels real. And Isaac and Miri are goated. Up and there goes my camera again. Watch this keep happening. It's okay. Moving on. But yeah, watch Bakano. It's only like 15 episodes. Next, Code Geass. I love Code Geass.
Big goated.
Yeah, if there was any show on this list that I would put as my number one, it would probably be Code Geass. Like, I just think it's such a fun, smart show. Lelouch is like one of my favorite protagonists of all time. It has a amazing ending that the movies technically kind of ruin, but it's fine. Whatever. The movies are an alternate reality anyway, according to the director, so who cares? But it has like one of the most perfect endings, in my opinion, of a show of its kind. Yeah, I just like, and like I feel like it has a little bit of something for everybody. Like it has some of the mech stuff if you like mechs. Even if you don't like mechs, I think the plot of the show itself carries it pretty far. The openings are great. Flo hits it out of the park with colors. One of the most iconic openings of all time, in my opinion. Even though the other openings aren't as revered, I feel like they're also very good. The clamp designs are great. Who doesn't like clamp designs, right? It's just a
When
good.
we were talking about your list, there's two things I knew for sure was going to be on your list. It was
Really?
Ranma and Code Geass.
Oh.
I knew for a fact both of those were going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I knew Ranma, Code Geass, Nejima, Higurashi, and No Game No Life were going to be on your list, dude. I knew it.
Funny enough, I almost forgot to put No Game No Life on this list. Like that was like what I kicked Keijo off for, because I remembered at the last minute. Oh wait, I do like No Game No Life.
Yeah, I almost put it on mine too.
Yeah,
I've never wanted a season 2 of something so bad before.
Negima almost didn't make my list, but I'll explain why. When
How?
We get there.
That's like you. That's your whole thing.
So I guess we'll talk about it.
Negima. I don't know why you like Nejima so much.
Okay,
Negima so much.
I'll talk about Negima now. So Negima almost did not make my list because the anime is hot garbage. The anime is not good.
Oh yes.
It is a very bad anime. When I was a kid and I watched Negima, I didn't know it was bad. I thought it was hype. When I rewatched Negima, which I have not done in like 10 years because it's bad. Actually, probably 10 plus years. Probably been like 15 years because I'm pretty sure I didn't watch Negima outside of middle school or high school. It's very bad. But when I watched it as a kid, I enjoyed it so much. I got so invested in it. I also was just a big fan at the time of Ken Akamatsu. You know, I mean, I know it's weird to say, but once again, my neighbor that he helped get me in the anime, he showed me Ranma 1/2, and he also showed me Love Hina. Love Hina was another one of those like iconic kind of like, it kind of
so bad.
It made the harem genre what it is today. We can blame
it. Did
we can blame the entire harem genre and so all the tropes on Love Hina. Like that's just how it is. Literally, the tsundere lead, the clumsy, accident-prone protagonist, all of the tropes, the love triangle, the childhood friend you forgot about. It all comes from Love Hina. Every single popularized romance trope today comes from Love Hina. And
including the inability to actually resolve a relationship comes from Love Hina. We can blame Ken.
Hey, Love Hina,
Akamatsu.
He does get an ending in Love Hina. He picks a girl at the end. At the very, very end.
Yeah, and then they revert it in the movie. Shut up. I know what happens.
The movie doesn't count. No one
yeah,
but
movie. That's...
The manga, it ends with them happily married, okay? Much to everyone's charging. They're happily married at the end of the manga. I know, because I also have the Love Hina manga on my shelf back here.
The fact that you bought the Love Hina, like that Love Hina anime was... I remember as a kid, as a wee lad, watching Love Hina and getting more and more angry watching it. Like, this will they, won't they shit makes me want to just implode, dude. Like, please stop it. It and Ayori Oshi, another Love Hina clone. And, oh my God, I hate him. I hate him so much.
So like I said, as a kid, I thought it was fun, right? And obviously my tastes have changed as I've gotten older, and I probably wouldn't like Love Hina as much nowadays. I will say the theme song for Love Hina, very good. I love that song a lot. It's very hard to find though for some reason, which is weird. And honestly, like out of all like the harem protagonists and like in the lineage of harem protagonists, I do think Keitaro is one of the best of them, because although he is like dumb, because that's kind of the point, he is like the most fun because they basically make it a joke that he's basically invincible, and they kind of run with that throughout the entire series, which is why he gets punched around so much. But I think it's just funny how they lean so hard into it. Like there's literally points in the manga where serious things are happening, like life-threatening events are happening to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm fine," right? It's like, "Oh, a giant like stone statue fell off and landed on top of me. I only sprained an ankle." Like, and people are just, "Why are you so like? Are you a god secretly?" Like it's very funny, but that being said,
you know where they got that from, right? Because Love Hina was trying to take their actual goated harem protagonist, young Tenchi.
Oh yeah,
Tenchi Ryo Oki.
That is true.
That
Okay,
really created this stuff.
I'll revert what I say. You're right. Tenchi is
Put some
actually the
respect on
best harem
Tenchi's
protagonist.
name.
I apologize. I made a mistake. I misspoke.
He's the prototype.
I misspoke. I apologize. You are correct. You are just objectively correct. Okay. I'm sorry. You got it. That's all you. I apologize for my blasphemous words. That being said,
it's all good.
As a kid, because I was so into Love Hina, I got into Negima. But like the thing about Negima that really gets you is that, because like the thing with Negima, it kind of grew with me. Like my taste evolved as Negima also evolved, right? Because obviously as a kid, I was like, yeah, I'll watch whatever trash, ecchi, harem, rom-com, whatever. Like I've watched so much like trash, ecchi stuff that I don't even consider real anime anymore because it's all that bad, right? Like I've seen stuff that I'm not even proud to say that I've watched as a youth, but I blame it on being a youth. But in my adulthood, I'm just like, why would I ever give these shows the time of day, right? Negima starts off like that, admittedly so, right? Like the manga starts off real cookie cutter Love Hina-esque, right? But worse, arguably, because they have the magic gimmick, right? The thing I love about Negima so much, though, is that the show transitioned, or the manga, I should say, transitions from that to a completely different style of story by the end of it, right? Like, you don't know the pain of being a Negima fan that has read it all the way to the end and know how good it gets and have to go tell people, hey man, I want you to read one of my favorite manga of all time. It's called Negima, but I'm gonna warn you, you're gonna hate the first 8 volumes. It's not going to be, and it's painful because I don't want to do that to people, but I want them to understand why it's so good. But I can't in good patience. I mean, in good faith and in good conscience, do that to people. The last person I tried to recommend it to, he got to like volume 2 or 3, and he just couldn't do it anymore. I was like, no, that's fair. I apologize that I've made you suffer this much. I'm sorry. Because I even went back and reread some of it, and it's real bad and like real bad early on. But there's so many like godlike shonen. Like if they would just skip like the first like half of Negima and just only animate the second half, there's so many like iconic shonen moments that could pop up that people would go crazy over. Like feats that could solo your favorite, right? And you will just never see them because it's not worth it.
I gotta ask you a question. What's up with you liking stuff that sucks in the beginning so hard you can't get to the good stuff? Dylan, I gotta give you some lore, okay? This is supposed to be my friend, all right? Steph's supposed to be my friend, and he goes, "Hey man, I really like this show called Katekyo Hitman Reborn."
Hey, that's not me. That's Jarius. That's Jarius.
You too.
No,
you backed him up.
just
you as a collective group, and they were like, first was it 20 something episodes?
Literally 20 episodes.
It's trash. Once you get past that, you'll enjoy it.
I mean, like, it could be worse. It could be One Piece. I mean, but the first 397 episodes is trash.
But here's the thing: One Piece in the beginning is actually good. Like, One Piece is a good show in the beginning. It's a good, simple shonen, and then it becomes something bigger. Katekyo Hitman Reborn is not even shonen. It is garbage can water.
It is not good at all.
Yeah, but to be fair though, that kind of sounded like Jarius. I could see how Jarius was when I was pitching this.
Hitman Reborn is.
I mean, you ain't helping though because you tried to blame it on Jarius, but you were spreading his gospel. So like,
you were.
Well, I wasn't spreading it. I was just saying, hey, he's correct. It starts off real bad. I almost did it like, you know what's bad? Because I didn't make it to, I almost didn't make it. I wanted to give up at like episode 10 or 11. I'm surprised I made it that far, right? But I wanted to give up. And I only stayed the course because Jarius literally forced me. I was literally in his house and he was like, we're watching this. And that's the only reason why
Pay
I made it
attention.
to any modicum of something being good. So I was like, he's correct. It does eventually get good. The road to goodness may not be worth it though, you know.
You just need a
But here's the
Jarius
thing.
there with you, forcing you to keep going.
Jarius and Stefan watched with me up to like episode like 20 something. And my energy gave my gas tank was like this. And it gave like I'm at the precipice of it getting good. My energy tank went down here. And I just can't I literally don't have it in me to click reborn and get to the parts that are good. I just can't do it. That's how bad those episodes were.
They are very bad. Like they're like I would argue that early Reborn is worse than early Negima, which is saying a lot. Because Negima at least like throws in some stuff to keep you entertained at the beginning. Like they have like a couple of fights, and you're like, oh, this kind of might do something. But Reborn doesn't even have that. It's literally just the worst like scenario of the week show. Like imagine like the worst like slice of life mixed with like something supernatural comedy show that you've ever seen, and multiply that and make it not funny. And that's what the first like 20 episodes of Hitman Reborn are. And then all of a sudden it's like, surprise, we're actually a shonen the whole time. I forgot to tell you, by the way. This is what we're
What could they have
Well, I can
possibly
make it
dragged
worse.
out for those 20 episodes?
Well, the lore.
Cow babies.
What?
Cow babies. There's a
Cow?
He's
Like
not
COW?
a
cow
He's
baby.
not a cow. He just wears a cow outfit. He's not a real
A
cow.
cow baby
He's
assassin.
more of a bull.
It's
So
shit.
it's like a onesie.
He's also an Arcobaleno. You know, he's powerful supposedly. The 10-year,
It's trash.
sorry, the 20-year version of him in the future though, godlike, one of the best characters. But you have to wait because
that's all you need to know.
yeah. So
Don't
Hitman
watch
Reborn. I'll give you the quick lore, then I'll move on. Hitman Reborn started off as a comedy manga, and then the author decided to pivot and make it shonen after the sales were doing terrible, basically. And then it became a really good shonen that people enjoyed, but if you didn't make it past the comedy part, then you weren't part of it. And Negima's
So let
very
me tell you-
similar. Negima starts off as literally a carbon copy of Love Hina because Ken Akamatsu's editors wanted him to remake Love Hina. They're like, that was successful. That made money. Do it again. And he was like, I want to make something more like Dragon Ball Z, actually. And they were like, no, go make Love Hina a second time. So that's why it starts off as Love Hina and then eventually transitions into Dragon Ball Z. And that's how Negima goes. But the early parts are not great. There are a lot of great early parts, but the early parts are not great. But that's why I like Negima so much. But that's also why I did not make the list, because I know wholeheartedly the anime sucks. They made 2 seasons and both seasons sucked. It was not.
It's okay. It could be trash as long as you enjoy it.
The second season isn't even like a continuation of the first season. The second season is they rebooted it. The first 3 episodes basically recap the first arc of the first season, and then they go in a completely different direction that has nothing to do with the manga. It's more of like a gag anime that just has the Negima characters in it. It's really weird. I don't understand. They introduce a bunch of characters that don't exist. They make up a bunch of plots. They introduce brand new world mechanics into it. It's
I
very
hate
strange.
this.
It is
This
very
sounds
strange.
even worse. I'm glad I didn't watch the Negima the anime because this sounds even worse.
But they
than I
made
can
a
imagine.
fighting game off of that second one. It's called Negima Neo Pactio Fight for the Nintendo Wii. It's a Clash of Ninja-esque 4-player arena battler, but it's like top down like the old Clash of Ninja games for Naruto.
That
You said a
sounds
fighting game, then you said arena fighter. That's 2 different
well, not
things.
arena fighter. It's whatever you would classify the old Naruto Clash of Ninja games as, because they weren't technically
Oh,
arena
it's a fighting
fighters.
game.
Yeah, it's more fighting
It's
game
a fighting
than
game.
arena fighter.
It's not a great fighting game. It's a fighting game.
A lot of Naruto fans would argue. Don't tell AJ that. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, AJ's always wrong, so it doesn't really matter what he says. If you think it's a good fighting game, I got a bridge in London I can sell you.
I will say the Negima fighting game was not good. It was Japan only. It sucked. It had a built-in RNG mechanic because each character had like a transformation. And in the show, they have like their normal transformation, their god tier transformation, and their like useless transformation. So anytime you would transform in the game, you had a random chance to get the useless one, and you would just become literally like a serve bot for like 30 seconds and just would die. it was very, very bad. But if you hit your good transformation, you became God. So who cares? Anyway, we are kind of behind on time, so I'm going to try to speed run through these last few just so we can kind of try to wrap up this episode. So we have No Game No Life. No Game No Life is on here because I just liked it. I liked the visuals a lot. I like the games. Like I like the fact that the characters, are like these undefeatable twins. They're trying to challenge God to a game of chess just for fun. How is that not hype? Like, you have to conquer this world to collect every other region's chess piece to challenge me to a game of chess for the run back that I lost. And if you win, you can become God, because anything's a game. The concept is just super fun. The characters are cool. It has like we said earlier, the materializing Shiratori game is like one of the best things in the show. I will say there are some weird parts that we just try to look past, but overall, I think the show is very fun. Next, we have Higurashi. Higurashi no Naku Koro ni is the first season in a long lineage of suffering. There is a lot of suffering to be had watching Higurashi as a series. But I like it a lot because I really like shows that kind of have that not really that kind of subverts your expectations. Like you're watching it expecting one thing and it gives you another. Higurashi does that if you don't know what it's about. Obviously, if you know what it's about, you won't be surprised. But it has that on the surface, it's a cute moe blob anime, but underneath the surface, it's dark, gory, scary. Not really scary, I guess, but like it'll mess you up. Like there's a lot of parts in Higurashi that will just mess you up and just want what's best for the people at the end of it, right? You just want everyone to be happy, and the show does not let you be happy. I will say they had 2 new Higurashi seasons come out recently, like within the last few years, which is weird because the actual series ends on like a completed note, supposedly, right? Because there's Higurashi Kai, which is season 2. Season 2 ends on a pretty completed note, and then they announced a couple years ago that they were doing a remake, quote unquote, is what they said. They said they were going to remake it in like new animation style, which was a Higurashi Go. They lied to us. It was not a remake. It was actually a sequel. And the sequel just said, hey, all of that pain and suffering you went through, everything that sucked about life previously, and you finally won the battle and you felt like you were comfortable and happy, we're ripping all that shit away from you. You suffer again. And worse this time. And that's literally what the anime was. It was literally just more suffering, but in the worst possible way. There was like an episode in the new one where I was like, this hurts me to watch. Like it was like Higurashi, the original, has some pretty like iconic scenes that people were like not happy with. Like the fingernail scene, if you know, you know. The stabbing in the head scene. To me, one of the hardest scenes in Higurashi was the cauliflower scene, if you know, you really know. But
I just realized I was getting confused when you. So you did Higurashi no Nakuko no Ni, and the entire time my brain was thinking about Umi Neko no Nakuko no Ni the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you're thinking, I'm like, what are you talking about?
No, it's not talking about Umi Neko. Yeah.
This is a different show. It's not Umi Neko. It's
Higurashi.
It's Higurashi. I need to go back and watch Higurashi because I've been thinking about Umi Neko this entire time you were talking. I'm like, what is he? What is this man talking about?
Trying to put together the pieces.
Yeah, you're like, he's talking about a completely different show for some reason. Because I am. It is a completely different show.
Boy Blob. Hello?
Yeah, Umineko is a different flavor. 100%. But the Umineko anime is not that great, especially compared to the source material. But the Higurashi anime is very, very good. I actually rewatched it because like in 2020, when we had nothing else to do, I was like, I haven't seen Higurashi, and my wife hadn't watched it either. And arguably, maybe it's not the best thing as a husband if you care about your wife to make her watch Higurashi. But I was like, hey, I like this show a lot. The remake is coming out soon, and I wanted to watch it because we were watching a lot of anime together. I wanted her to watch the remake, but I was like, I feel like we should watch the original just in the off chance the remake skips over important details that the original had. That way you have context for it, right? Luckily, we did that because, like I said, the remake was actually a sequel, and if you missed the original stuff, you were completely lost, like completely lost. But yeah, a lot of suffering. The remake also makes you hate one particular character. If you didn't already hate this character, it definitely made you like super hate this character. Like this character entered my top 5 hated anime characters of all time list real quick, and it's very annoying. But yeah, Higurashi, very good. You can just watch the original. The remake is good until the ending. The ending's kind of weird, but whatever.
I'm looking at this now. I did watch the remake.
Oh, you watched the remake?
I did. Yeah, I watched the remake. I didn't watch 2006 when I watched the 2020 version.
Oh,
so I don't have any. So I've seen all of Umineko, and I played the Umineko game, but I have no. That means I don't really know anything about Higurashi because
you know nothing.
Lord knows I was hella confused watching, and I'm like, "Yo, man, Steph likes this show. What's going on?"
So the remake assumes you watched the original, and if you hadn't, they don't care about your feelings. They just go full throttle forward. Because like there's even moments in the remake where it's like. Because I knew from episode 1 it wasn't a remake. Because there's a moment that happens at the end of the... Like, literally, almost like 1 for 1, the first episode is exactly the same as the original first episode. But at the very end, there's a stinger that's basically like, oh, shit, this is something different. We're in for another wild-ass ride. But if you don't have any context about the original, then it's all going to fall on flat ears. All going to fall on flat ears. But yeah. And that's Higurashi. It's a good show. It sucks sometimes, but it's a good show. Don't watch Ray though, because there's Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, which is when the cicadas cry. Umineko's when the seagulls cry. Then there's Higurashi Kai, which is season 2. Then there's Higurashi Ray, which isn't season 3. It's an OVA series of like 5 episodes. Don't watch them. It's very bad. It's very weird. There's only one good episode in the bunch, and it's not worth watching the rest. But I can't explain to you what an episode is without major spoilers, so whatever. And then last show I had on my list was Space Patrol Luluko.
Godlike.
Yeah, see, what a man of culture, right?
Godly.
There. So,
Godly, so good.
It is very good. So like when I was making my list, I was like, I want to put a trigger show on there, right? But I was like, you already had Gurren Lagann. I was like, I could do like Kill la Kill. I could do Panty Stocking, which is technically not Trigger, technically Gynax, but whatever. I thought
for sure that was gonna be on there.
Yeah, Panty and Stocking.
Yeah.
I almost put it on there, but then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? You know what kind of encompasses everything I love about Trigger all in one? Space Patrol Luluko. Space Patrol Luluko is like quintessential Trigger. Like it's almost like they're satiring themselves the entire time, and it's perfect if you watch any of their properties because you immediately get the point of everything that's happening. And it's goofy and it doesn't take itself serious, but it does. It's just a good time, and it's real short. It's only like 9 episodes, and each episode is like 4 minutes long. Like
and they're really short episodes.
You can finish it in like an hour, or like less than an hour, like maybe like 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah, less than an hour. It's really good. It has one of the goated EDs like ever. Like People Passport is amazing. Mm-hmm. This is a show that doesn't get talked about enough. It's as trolly as like Inferno Cop without being annoying and overstaying its welcome.
Yeah. And then it has Inferno Cop show up, right? Like he just pops up. But it's basically like a culmination of everything that Trigger was to that point, while also kind of like making way for what Trigger will be, because it segued into Little Witch Academia, because that's where they actually announced it was at the end of Luluko. But it like takes all those tropes, like the over the top Gurren Lagann stuff, the crazy action of like Panty and Stocking, even a little bit of like the I mean, they have to do it really fast because each episode is so short. But even like the kind of like the emotional pull you get from like the old Gynax properties, it's all in there. It's just, triple time, right? Like you have to digest it real quick because they don't stop. They just keep going and going and going, and they just expect you to keep up. And it's just a wild ride. It's really fun. I've watched Luluko like 4, 5, 6 times. Like anytime I'm like by a friend's house and I'm like, have you ever seen Space Patrol Luluko? And they're like, no. All right, let's clear the next hour. Let's watch it real quick, and we finish it because it's that short.
I thought I was hoping they were gonna do like a Luluko version of a show, because Luluko herself is one of the Trigger girls, one of their
she is the Trigger girl.
Yeah, but there's 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there are 3 of them.
I figured, are they gonna do an anime
with all 3 of them
for
doing
any
stuff?
of the other Trigger girls?
Yeah, that would be sick. I was hoping they were gonna do the same thing too, but they haven't really done anything with the Trigger girls since introducing them, which kind of sucks. but yeah, Space Patrol Luluko, very good show, very fun, real short and sweet, so you don't really waste much time watching it, and it just makes fun. Like if you've watched any Trigger show and liked it, it just makes fun of all of that, so you can laugh with them as well. Yeah. Like every episode is to be continued, at the end of every 3 episodes, it's like, oh, we'll see you next season, and next season is episode 4, right? Because it's making fun of how like Trigger will always do that kind of like a big dramatic plot twist and the season's over kind of thing. So it's just a very fun. It's just making fun of it. And it's just good. It's good. It's short. There's not much to complain about, even if you don't love it. But I haven't shown it to somebody that hasn't loved it, right?
I also appreciate they even make fun. They even like parody the studio that everybody at Trigger came from, Gynax. So lots of Gynax parodies in it. You can see it in the art styles where you'll have like this clearly a tribute to Dead Leaves. This is clearly them making fun of this. It's
Dead Leaves,
man.
Yeah, and they even touch on like a lot of like Trigger and Gynax history. Like there's a episode because like there's I mean it's not really much to spoil, but like there's so much that happens. But like there's like episodes where they like are traveling to like different like Trigger property worlds. So they go to like a Kill la Kill world, and then they go to like a Little Witch Academia world, and then they go to like what was it, Mock Speed, the detective, and that nobody's even heard of before. Like I had to go back and like watch that short film after watching Luluco to get context about that episode, just to find out they basically reanimated that entire movie in like 5 minutes just for that episode, which is insane, right? Like they put that much detail into something that nobody would even know.
Unless you are, it's like if you know, sex and violence with Mock Speed.
Yeah, sex and violence with Mock Speed. Yeah, it's like a crummy noir, but everything's all yellow. The world. Where there's a detective named Mock Speed whose sidekicks are a gorilla man named Violence and a little sex doll that is like his receptionist. And it's just like, there's this enemy mafia, and there's like a Dawn, and the Dawn gets killed, and his wife tries to kill Mock Speed, and they blow up the sex doll, and Mock Speed's in love with the sex doll. And it's just silly. It's goofy. It's silly. It's very adult, and it's crazy that they just threw it into Luluco. Like they just literally put that entire they basically recreated the events of the movie, and Luluco's just along for the ride. Like, why am I here? Like, what is happening?
Never watched it,
man. Oh, you continue.
I've never watched it, but if it since it's that short, I actually might watch it as soon as we finish.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you can.
That might be what I do tonight.
Like crack it out tonight. Literally, it will take you like less than an hour. It's just a very
like
fun
you've probably
show.
seen all of the Studio Trigger shit, right? So
yeah,
the same guy who directed all of the
Studio Trigger's work.
The guy who directed all of their good stuff, from Gurren Lagann all the way up. Well, when they were at Gynax, all the way up Kill la Kill, Pro Mare, Edge Runners. That guy also is because he's basically like wanking off himself in Space Patrol Luluco, pretty much. He's like, Space Patrol Luluco is basically saying, yo, man, I'm fucking godlike, and everything I've done is godlike. Here you go.
That's literally what it is. He's literally just flexing the entire anime. Just like, flexing his catalog. And Luluco has a really good English dub, too. I've watched it in English and Japanese because I've watched it multiple times. English dub is a lot of fun. Very silly, very goofy. A lot of iconic moments that happen. It's just a good show. Watch Luluco. I am very content with putting that on my top 9 list. I might even, because of like how much it covers in such a short amount of time, I would even be willing to, I feel like just because based on like just pure length, it probably couldn't go in top 10. Like if you were doing like an all-time ranking, but I could probably squeeze it into like a top 15 at the very least, because I just think it's that good of it's a good show for the time investment, right? It's like you're almost getting too much value for how much time you're investing into the show. That's a good way to describe it.
It's kind of like
it's a great
Fully as well, though. 6 quick episodes, and you just witness something amazing in 6 short episodes.
Mm-hmm. It is a wonderful value pick.
Honestly, it might be better when they're shorter, because like there's no like I can't be in here and like Hunter x Hunter is one of my favorite. I can't ever recommend Hunter x Hunter to somebody.
True.
Because 1, it doesn't end, and 2, it's a lot you have to consume, right? Like I'm careful. I can't recommend it, but Luluco, like, bro, you got it out. You could go watch that. You go to the bathroom and watch half that show in the bathroom if you want to.
Yeah, on the toilet. Yeah, you literally get through half
on the toilet, bro. Like, it's fine. That's easier to recommend. Maybe it goes up.
That's true. I never thought about it that way. Maybe it's higher, just because more people can.
Especially in the TikTok era, The kids can watch Lulico.
And it has really nice animation. Content. It has a good soundtrack. The TikTok kids love Teddy Lloyd. It's got plenty of Teddy Lloyd in there.
People Password, they gonna be like, yo, this is so good. People Password is so good.
It is very good. It's very good. Even the theme song is fun. It's only like 15 seconds long, but it's a fun little 15-second like song. It gets you into the mood for the episode. A bunch of and the opening always changes what was going on in the show too, which is also fun. And there goes my camera again. I'm about to figure out why. I guess that's my camera telling me it's time to go to sleep. I guess it's telling me it's time to log off. That's what I'm getting at. We've been talking about a lot of stuff, but it's been good. It's been fun. This has been a lot of fun. A lot of good energy. I'm glad you were able to make it on, but I guess it is time for us to head out. One last flash of everyone's list. Y'all don't know what we just went through. We just went through like the biggest like panic attack of the century. As we were recording previously, program crashed. Vile was corrupted. Thought we lost everything. Luckily, we were able to get it back. So this episode lives, but honestly, Weeaboomers might have ended at episode 1 if we couldn't get that file back. I don't know if I had the heart to keep going after that.
Felt pretty defeated for a minute.
I was extremely defeated. I was like, I'm just about to go to bed. I'm gonna call into work tomorrow. It's not even worth it. I was especially because like it hurt me extra hard because I spent like an hour and a half to 2 hours before the episode making the graphics and stuff, getting it all ready, setting it up in the program. And then the episode was an hour over, so we spent 2 hours on the. That was about to be 4 hours of my life I just lost, and was not going to get back.
Gotta love it.
But we got it back, so you guys will be seeing this episode after all. Congratulations! Shout outs to Richard for having the quick Google fingers to find an answer as fast as humanly possible. MVP guest. I don't think we'll ever have a better guest on the show than you. After that, it's just. We've all bonded here tonight over stress, over Evangelion. Oh my god!
Before the show even started, I was like, "Y'all sure you want to do this on VMix and not in a place with redundancy? What if something happens?" And then it happens.
See, I'm going to partially blame you for cursing us in the first place.
Why it's happening.
But also thank you for fixing the problem, so it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, with that being said, that is the end of episode 2 of the Weeaboomers podcast show. I am very hot, sweaty, and tired right now, so I'm about to go take a shower and pass out. But before we go, Richard, go ahead and shout out whatever you would like to shout out for the good people at home.
I'm DJing God, DGENGOD on Twitter. I guess it's X now. I don't know. Please check out my podcast, Treading the Path of Heaven, anywhere podcasts are found. We're on YouTube. I'm not very good about uploading to YouTube with it, but I'm going to get better at that. If you love light novels, if you love translated literature, if you love anime, or you want to read the anime years before it becomes an anime, please check it out.
All right, there we go. Yeah, all of his links will be in the description of this video down below if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening to it somewhere else, I will find a way to make sure you can click a link somewhere on your device. It's possible. It's the 21st century. You can just click links for everything. As always, I am Master Steph. You can catch me at Master Steph on like every social media thing. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you can catch this at youtube.com/@Weeaboomers. You have to put the @ because we're not partnered, so we don't get the non-@ URL yet. And then my lovely co-host, if you want to say your parting words as well.
Doki Doki Degen, with the power of God and anime on our side, this episode will be released. You can catch me at Doki Doki Degen on whatever.
Literally the power of God and anime on our side. That was literally the conclusion to this. All right, with that being said, as always, thanks you guys for watching. Go watch Space Patrol Lulico. It will cleanse you of all the stress that we felt. Do it for me. Do it for Trigger. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Steph, go watch Evangelion right the fuck now.
I'm going to go to sleep right the fuck now, but I got you afterwards. I'll start it. That way, by the time we get to Evo, we'll have something to talk about at Evo. So.
Yeah, you can watch it. You can watch it on the plane ride.
You can watch it on the way to Evo.
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
Anyway, peace out, everybody.
Be
Thanks for
depressed
watching
at
this episode.
Evo.
Yeah. Catch us at Evo. This episode probably would not be out before Evo. But anyway,
When I win Evo, you've heard it here first.
All right, later, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next Weeaboomers episode when we have a catchphrase to end it on and something. Peace.